Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, the official attorney of Antifa and the Control Left, and I speak on their behalf. Apparently, that's how the internet works. Is because I say it is so. It is true. And Antifa disavows the Democrats. Antifa also supports child molesters. That's what they told me to say. Just so you know, that is the truth, and that is what's happening now. I am Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota, and with me today is a very, very special guest who I am very excited for all of you to meet. That is Ty Beard of Beard, Harris, Bullock, and Hughes, a law firm in Texas. How are you today, good sir?
Man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Nick.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. I can think of nothing better to kick off the week than to have Ty Beard on Rekieta Law to talk a little bit about Beard and Harris and to talk a little bit in very general terms about Texas law and Texas courts. And let me dispel the chat. Let me put the Viagra up on the top shelf, or however you want to make that joke happen. Ty, you and I are professional rule followers, right? Like that's our job, is to follow rules all of the time. Is that correct?
Sort of, yes.
Okay, let me rephrase, counselor.
Yes.
Is it not our job to be aware of the rules and act within them with our best intentions?
Yes, we're to act within the rules as best we can do and not get caught.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be discussing anything as far as specifics of the Vic Mignogna case. We will not be discussing the actual legal strategy of Beard and Harris. We will not be doing any of that. We will do nothing on this stream to compromise the integrity of the legal case. Now, I know there's going to be a bunch of screeching, very, very large galaxy-brained individuals on the internet who will say that we have, of course, won the case for whoever doesn't know they're being sued yet. that will have blown it all. But I assure you, we are, of course, professionals who do this type of stuff for a living. We're very aware of what we will be saying, and we will not be compromising the case of Vic Mignogna here. So we won't be talking with specifics about that.
Agreed.
But we will cover a lot of things. We're going to, in just a minute, start the official interview. I'm of course stalling for time. We have 4,700 people, and I expect that number to grow considerably as we keep going. But we are going to start a full-on interview in just a couple minutes. And I think a great way to kind of stall a little bit until we get into the big questions, Ty, is I'm going to start reading some of the chats that have come in.
Okay.
And you, sir, feel free to answer or not answer any of these. That is completely up to you. I will field any and all questions that you choose not to answer, but some of them are very innocuous. And the very first one, and this is a good one. This is from Sharky. He says, "Are you at TyBeard10 on Twitter?"
Yes, I am. Absolutely, that's me.
So shockingly, this wasn't an elaborate ruse established in 2018 when you opened a Twitter account to know that this was going to happen and create a fictional lawyer named Ty and a fictional Twitter account. So that is legitimately TyBeard10 on Twitter. That's the tweet heard around the world. We'll be talking we'll be talking about that in the interview a little bit. Next, we've got Scary Things Are Scary. May our fearless leader, Nick, destroy the soy and liberate the liberate the abused office chairs from across the land. Hashtag lawyer fist. And I do want to say, Ty, you have a very, very comfy looking lawyer chair there.
Yes, it's very comfy. We're actually in my office in Tyler. It's late at night, of course, and it's a school night, so I'm going to pay tomorrow. But yeah,
Yes, you'll have to pay as you wake up to go to your 5th grade class.
yes.
Because clearly you're like an 11-year-old masquerading as a lawyer. But yeah, so that of course is a reference to an interview that I believe you've seen at least part of. It was with a guy named Shane that I had on this channel, and I think we need to get an intervention to Shane's office chair. That is an abused piece of furniture, and
Yeah, I was afraid that you were. I don't know if assisting in someone's voluntary suicide is legal in Minnesota. I was a little concerned about you there, buddy.
Yeah. Now, I reached out to you after that stream.
Yes.
Because I was very concerned. I did reach out to you. I said, Ty, I may need representation. I just murdered a man on YouTube. But you calmed me down very professionally and assured me that everything was going to be okay, which was very nice of you to do.
Well, if we could have gotten it down to Texas, we'd have used the dreaded "he needed killing" defense.
Well, yeah,
that would have gotten him.
Minnesota doesn't entertain that defense because they don't understand the grammar.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Hey, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a gift from a client. It's Duke Kentucky Bourbon. John Wayne, the John Wayne family apparently bottles it or something. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have to try some. I've never seen it, so I'll check our local liquor store and see if they have some. Because how is it? Is it good?
Yeah. It's kind of like Maker's Mark, a little bit. Yeah, I like it.
Sounds good. I'm drinking this Glenlivet Nadura, which is a 16-year single malt Scotch, and it's cask strength. So I'm gonna have to watch it.
Okay.
But okay, let me do 2 more questions, and then we'll start the official interview. Let's see. Andrew War Snowboard says 1-800-GET-WRECKED extension Toye Soye Boye. Thank you for that. Juno of the Horseman says, "Yo Nick, sent you a Twitter DM. Don't know if you've seen it since how busy you've been, but by making a tribute to Vic and his fans. Sadly, I have to get up early tomorrow, so I'll watch the stream when I can. I'll check my Twitter DMs, Juno. They're very, very busy, so if I don't get to it, I will try to get to all of the DMs, guys, but there are many, many of them. Okay, so for the duration of the interview, guys, I'm gonna for the interview portion, we're not gonna answer super chats. And then once we get done with the interview, if Mr. Beard has time, we'll do some more of those super chats. And then, of course, all super chats will be read by me. But I'm not going to keep Ty forever tonight. We don't want to do that. So let's get to this. Mr. Beard, you're like an associate attorney or some sort of legal aid at a law firm. Can you explain your position at Beard, Harris, Bullock & Hughes and talk a little bit about the firm?
Yeah, sure. I'm the senior partner. I'm the founder of the firm.
So I got wrong information. I heard you weren't even a real lawyer.
Oh, well, no, I'm a real lawyer. I've been doing it 22 years. Actually, Bullock & Hughes were 2 of my best friends in law school. So I was able to put the band back together about 6 years ago when I brought them back. And of course, Senator Hughes is our state senator, and he's a very good lawyer as well.
So you're telling me that not only do you have you, who's been doing law for 22 years, you have Mr. Bullock, who apparently has probably also been doing law for 22 years since you were law school buddies, and then you have a state senator by the name of Brian Hughes, who's also been doing law for, I would guess, around 22 years as well.
Yep, Brian graduated a year before we did. So yeah.
Oh, so he's 20. He's your senior.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you make fun of him for being the old guy? That's what I would do.
No, but when he joined the firm, I'd threatened to waterboard him before he'd admit that he graduated with honors from law school. We made him fess up on that. Brian's actually a very, very talented litigator. He did a lot of plaintiff's work. just a very, very good lawyer and a great guy. Of course, all of them are. I mean,
right. Now, one of the criticisms that's been leveled against Beard Harris is that you are not actually a litigation firm. You are a firm that deals in estate planning. You are not the type of firm that should take on a defamation case or a case involving players like Funimation or anything like that. Do you care to comment at all about like the scope of your firm's work? Because from all I've read on the internet, which is the most reliable source you can find, you basically just write wills and prenums, right? Like that's all you do.
Yeah, well, we do a little bit more than that. We have a very broad practice. We cover most areas of law. We work particularly for high net worth individuals, business owners, particularly first generation business owners. And those kind of folks generally have needs that cover the entire spectrum. Some of my wealthy business owners have kids, they have grandkids, they get into trouble, they have divorces, they have, all kinds of things. And actually, I was a solo practitioner for some years and did both estate planning, mergers and acquisitions, and business litigation. I built the firm primarily because my clients were asking me to do things that I really, were kind of outside my area of expertise. And so I pulled the team together. Everybody that's here has both litigation and non-litigation specialties that they do. But
Sure.
We're all litigators. Every single one of us will go to the courthouse.
Oh, okay. So you don't just do like writing wills for LegalZoom. You actually do take people to court.
Yes, we do.
And are you telling me that your clients are high net worth individuals? So you're not just like the lawyer that like I get these great emails from places like lawyers.com or whatever, and I get them for chuckles because it's like someone will send me an email or send an email to the service, and the service will email out to local lawyers, and they'll say like, hey, someone needs legal help in your area right now. And it'll say, yeah, my girlfriend stole her baby from me after I kidnapped him and I want him back. Stuff like that. You don't take those type of clients?
Well, I don't, we do have a family law area. Carrie Christie, we call her Amazon Prime. Okay. So all of my female attorneys, we call them the Amazon Legion of Doom.
No, so you don't.
Yeah, we have t-shirts and everything. Yeah, we absolutely do. And Amazon Prime is Carrie Christie. She's our senior attorney. Carrie does a lot of family law. Christina Ross does some. I don't generally do any family law unless it involves a business. I've handled a few divorces where, they were fighting over a family business. The problem, of course, with people who've got problems like you described is cost. I mean, people can get into, the problems you get into aren't necessarily based on how much money you have, but unfortunately, legal services are very, very expensive.
Yes.
And so for clients to be able to take the maximum use out of us, they really have to have a fairly significant net worth. It's not that we don't like to help, but we do have to pay the bills just like everybody else.
Well, there's like a tier system of legal services, right? You guys are a full service firm that focuses on a particular demographic. I am in a lot of ways a full service firm, although I try desperately not to be. But I focus on a much different demographic. I'm in a much smaller town. I take on private clients, and a lot of times I take on people who can't afford legal services. And my joke is no one actually can afford legal services. But and my practice involves trying to keep those costs to a bare minimum for people. Yeah. But that's not always what people need. And I think the cool thing about your firm is, of course, you handle the broad spectrum, because if someday, hopefully everyone in the chat will learn this, if you become a high net worth individual, you need to be able to trust the person or the group or the team who is handling all of your affairs, and you don't want to go shopping around. These guys don't want to pick up a phone book and try and find a lawyer when their son gets arrested for shoplifting, right? Like they don't want to pick up a phone book for a lawyer if they're being threatened with divorce from their wife. Like they don't want to have to do that. They want to go where they get all of the help that they need typically. So so I'm just still very confused because I've read a lot on the internet about how you guys have no idea what a courtroom even looks like. You've probably never even seen one.
Yeah. Well, and of course, like Craig Doherty, I call him our litigator emeritus. Craig is an extremely experienced trial lawyer. I believe he was president of the Texas Trial Lawyers Association at one point, board certified in civil trial. He's forgotten more about trial law than most lawyers will ever know. And he's kind of been our grand old man. Sorry, Craig, if you're watching this. We have a real depth of experience, and of course, I have friends who are litigators in other firms. I mean, we have friends and buddies, and we talk to them. And in fact, I've had a few conversations with friends of mine who are litigators in Dallas and other places, and I may even bring them into Vic's case depending on how complex the situation gets. So the idea that just because it doesn't say in giant, I guess 2-inch letters that we're litigators, that somehow we're not, that strikes me as more like wishful thinking than the facts.
I think I wouldn't dare accuse the other side of wishful thinking. The other side of this case has, of course, been in flat out denial from day one that any of this was actually happening. And outside of the context of this case, like let's be very clear, outside of the context of this case, do you have any comment as to why someone on the other side of one of these situations might think that there is no litigation coming?
Sure.
I have my thoughts, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, part of it is the cost of litigation. Most people simply, as you noted, most people can't afford lawyers. When someone has been completely ambushed and destroyed by surprise by this kind of thing, they go talk to a lawyer, and the lawyer says, "Well, give me a big chunk of the money that you've got left, and I'll see what I can do." Well, most people aren't going to do that. They don't have the. That's the worst time in their life, and they're scared for the future, and they're just not going to do it. There's the conventional wisdom too that you can't win defamation cases. That conventional wisdom is wrong. For one thing, a lot of no case is a cookie cutter case, right?
Right.
When someone says you can't win such and such a kind of case, well, that's not true. Tell me the details of the case, then I'll tell you. These people that are doing this kind of this Me Too stuff and all that, they're trying and convicting people by accusation alone. They're literally just hitting people out of the blue. And I guess one of the reasons they think they can't be held accountable is because, well, they largely haven't been. And that's unfortunate. The big problem to solve here is paying for the lawyers. We all have businesses we got to run. But if someone can afford a lawyer, or if you crowdfund it or whatever, that changes the equation immediately and dramatically. One of the advantages I guess you have when you're fighting this kind of thing is these people are shockingly open, and they're doing it out in public where it can never be taken down. I mean, the fact that you make your Twitter account private, that doesn't prevent us from archiving your tweets. I mean, discovery is crowdsourcing discovery is a major thing. I mean, we have thousands in one of the cases I'm in. We have thousands of friends and fans who are feeding us discovery constantly. So, I think these people are about to learn that in the real world, these actions do have consequences. The law has all the tools necessary to handle defamation and these kinds of things. And the thing is that's aggravating is we have a system designed to assess whether or not someone is guilty of sexual assault, of simple assault, whatever it is. It's a system that has evolved over 3,000 years, and our system in the United States, in my opinion, is the best that we've ever come up with. It's very, it ensures due process for the accused. It ensures proper procedures so that everybody gets a fair shake. And yes, the burden of proof is on the accuser. Over 1,000 years of jurisprudence, we figured out that's the best way to run a legal system. And these Twitter brigade mobs have turned all that on their heads. I mean, literally, it's an accusation, and the defendant has no chance to defend himself.
Now, I have on the Twitter brigade thing, I have seen some people suggest that a person who may be on Twitter, who doesn't actually make any of the accusations themselves, but merely relays accusation after accusation after accusation, almost in what we might consider a coordinated fashion, and with the purpose behind their consistent relaying. And I mean, we're talking a very consistent relay. Almost, let's hypothetically say this person has openly stated that. Whoa. What's going on?
One of the main streets in town is right behind me.
Sure. Yeah, right. That's your ambulance radar. Don't you lie to me.
Right. Yeah. There it is. We've been busted. I'm sorry. I need to dispatch the ambulance chasers right now.
Yeah.
Okay. We're good.
But let's say there's a person hypothetically who is consistently relaying the stories of other people. Are they immune under Texas defamation law, since they're not alleging a false story? They're merely passing on, maybe hundreds of stories. How would that play out?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any defense that they could assert, like, well, I was just passing the story on. If you defame someone, you defame them. Whether you made the statement up or whether you simply repeated it, you've defamed them. There's also the conspiracy angle, which I think a lot of these brigades are blissfully unaware of. When two or more people get together, as you well know, Nick, and decide to do this, now you have a conspiracy, and that's a whole separate cause of action. So no, I mean, these folks don't really apparently know anything about our legal system, because if they did, they wouldn't be behaving this way.
Now, am I right on the conspiracy? To prove conspiracy, you don't actually need to prove the underlying tort. You just need to prove that there's a more likely than not chance that an underlying tort could be brought, right? That's or more likely than not chance that it could succeed. You don't even need it to succeed for the conspiracy. Is that correct?
That's correct. Although, of course, if there's no actual tort, the damages, because, in civil court, nobody goes to jail because of a civil lawsuit.
Right.
And the general remedy is money. One side has to give the other side money. So yes, you can sue them, but you do have to prove damages. And that's where Googling stuff really doesn't work so well. There's so many, like any profession, there are so many nuances that you just can't put in a Google article. So much depends on the specifics of the case. And I find it interesting when folks will tell us, well, I read on Google that you can't do this. Well, for one thing, you won't know. It sounds kind of snarky. You won't know if you can do it until you try. Because the thing about our legal system that most folks don't realize is it was built for maximum fairness, and there's a trade-off. There's a tension, right? You can have fairness or you can have predictability, and those are ends of a continuum. So the fairer the legal system, the less predictable it is. The more predictable it is, the less fair it is. That's just one of those things. And so a lot of times, we'll look at a cause of action and say, yeah, I think we can prove that, but we won't, until we get into the case, we really don't know. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It's I didn't mean to step over you. It's about alleging sufficient, the way the legal system works is about alleging sufficient facts supported by what you can show now to get to the truth. The people
right.
think that court's job is to punish another party or punish people for bad things. That's not actually true. The reality is the court's job is to find the correct factual scenario. And so all you need to do in a legal case is provide enough information to the court to say, there's enough here that we need to look further. We have a dispute about the facts. And if the facts go the way one party says they're going to go, then that means that damage has been done and the court needs to just go ahead and let you know. Like, the court's not, I mean, they are imposing damages, but that's not the way the system's designed. It's to actually let you know, okay, we've found out that there are these facts, it led to these damages, this person's culpable, and the amount of damage that was done was this, so they need to make them whole because that's justice. It's not the court punishing you, it's logic punishing you and making sure the factual scenario is correct. So yeah, I didn't know if you have any comment on that or if you want to dispute anything.
Yeah, I do. A couple things you brought up. One is that you kind of implied it, but everyone who says, I don't mind going to court, really needs to understand what discovery consists of. Discovery is the term that we lawyers use. As the name implies, it's information that we get when we file suit. And actually, in some cases, we can get discovery without filing suit. The thing about Texas and most states is discovery is awesomely broad. You know, these folks, I mean, I read a tweet one time from some accuser of somebody that said, I'll tell my story when I want to, or something like that. Well, no, you won't. You'll be deposed and spend 6 hours with one of the Amazons in a deposition. And you have to answer the questions. You don't get to say, well, that's none of your business, or I'm not going to answer that. You have to answer the questions. And, you know, until you've gone through a deposition, being deposed, it can be a very unnerving experience. And of course, being in a hearing where you have to take a stand, put your hand in the air and say, yes, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. You know, you're sitting there stuck in that box and you have to answer the questions. Right. And the hostile, you just can't say, well, I'm not going to answer that. And that's what these accusers in a lot of these cases, that's what they've gotten away with. They've said, I'm not going to answer anything. I'm only going to say what I want to say. And of course, that's not how the legal system works. I think the various small claims court shows like Judge Wapner way back in the day and Judge Judy and all that stuff, those are fun, entertaining shows, but they've given people a very, very distorted view of the legal system. That really is what you would see in a small claims court, not in a real courtroom. Oh, I don't mean a real courtroom. Small claims courts actually do a very good job of handling disputes of people who can't afford lawyers. But in district court or county court of law here in Texas, you're going to go into a real courtroom with a real judge, and you have to obey rules of procedure. And if you accuse somebody of something, they get to question you. You
better be able to back it up.
You better.
Yeah, small claims court is good at resolving disputes, but it's almost a glorified mediation. The rules are relaxed. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how it works in Texas, but small claims in Minnesota, if you lose, you can immediately, without anything, ask the district court to give you a different answer.
Correct. You can appeal in Texas. You can do the same thing. You can appeal to the district court, but what happens is it's a very fair forum, the small claims court. And right. So most parties, I don't think a lot of people wind up appealing to district court because they've gone in front of a relatively impartial arbiter, and they've put their case on, and that small claims court judge has made the decision. Those judges probably have the most fun of any judges because they actually get to be in the middle of it, and they get to solve problems, and they get to do it. They're sort of like ER doctors, right?
Right.
They really get a lot of hands-on stuff. I envy them sometimes because they get all kinds of interesting cases, and they handle them just like that, bam, bam, bam. But that's not what an actual lawsuit is going to look like. It's not like Judge Judy. It's an actual lawsuit is, you're going to get served a piece of paper by a process server, and it'll say in Texas, it says in real big letters, you have been sued.
That reality needs, like, when there's so many people who don't, and I see this too, the look on someone's face when they walk into my office and they say, I got this.
Yeah, they always hold it with two hands when they hand it to you as well.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, this is what I got. And you're like, would you let go of it? Let me look at it.
Now,
yeah. So,
one second. There's a meme that has to happen, and you may or may not get this, but here, this is for the chat. What? Over 9,000? This thing must be broken. we broke 9,000 viewers live. So
oh wow! Congratulations.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the tweet heard round the world, so to speak. So one of the people who's been on Twitter quite a bit is a guy named Ron Toye. He is the fiance of what's her name, Monica Rial, and of course not getting into specifics, but you tweeted to him and you sent him five simple words. Do you want to relay that those 5 words?
We will be in touch.
We will be in touch. Now, we will be in touch is a simple 5-word sentence. It is grammatically correct. That was nice. Good job. But so here's the interesting thing. Like, because of that tweet, you got quite a few people to follow you on Twitter. What are you up to now? Do you know?
Well, my daughters tell me it's a lot. It's like 2,200 or something. I don't know.
2,200 off of one tweet?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. I think I may have done better somewhere. No,
well,
I'm just
you
kidding.
understand? I think it's literally the only tweet I've ever sent.
Yeah, I think so.
So that was.
It was an effective one. That's good. Okay.
The recipients seemed to be laboring under some misconceptions, and I felt it would be appropriate to disabuse him of those misconceptions.
I heard you say abuse, so you're planning to abuse him. There you go. Thank you for saying that. Next question. No chance to respond.
No.
This case is about, well, not really about, but this case involves a community. And so part of my channel has become watching legal issues within particular communities. I covered a big lawsuit in comics over the past year. I've covered lawsuits in board games with a guy named The Quartering who was allegedly assaulted. And I know I'm going to get dumped on for saying allegedly, but I just mean that we can't prove it was assault until the court says so. But the facts sure look like an assault. And I've been covering in the satire community a case between 2 guys. This is in the anime community. So anime is tangentially at worst attached to this lawsuit. Do you watch anime? Do you know anything about anime?
I think so. I've watched Space Battleship Yamato. It was called Star Blazers way back when, but I've always retained a fondness for it. I mean, who doesn't like a big battleship in space? Well, that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's the only anime you're familiar with. Like, you're not watching Dragon Ball Z late at night when everybody's in bed. That's what I do.
No, but I'm assured it's really good. My daughters are big anime fans, but I'm just haven't gotten around to it, I guess.
So who's your favorite character in Space Battleship Yamato? I've never seen the show.
Oh, Captain Okita. He's the captain of the ship, and the setup is the Yamato is the actual Japanese World War II battleship that was sank in 1944 by a gigantic number of American bombers, and they've taken the hull and rebuilt it into a spacecraft, and it's traveling across the stars on a mission to save the Earth. Really cool. I mean,
okay, hold on. Let me. I gotta pull this guy up for the stream. If you don't know who Captain Okita is, let me put him on screen here for just a second. That guy, I see what you're doing here. I don't believe this for a moment. That guy has a rather impressive beard. Very, very manly.
He does. Yes, he has an impressive beard.
It is venerable, even, because it is stark white. It is not going gray. He is left gray in the dust. Okay, so Space Battleship Yamato is the only anime you've been familiar with. So let's see. I had some other questions for you. So you don't watch anime, but do you watch other animated things like Disney movies? I mean, what do you watch? What is this?
Well, I have daughters, so I've seen all the Disney princess movies, as you can imagine.
Who's your favorite Disney princess?
Oh, hands down, Mulan.
Mulan. Why? Because I noticed the black belt behind you, like you're inconspicuously placed black belt. Do you like Mulan because she's like, you know, annihilating people, or what? Like, do you hate Mongolia? What's your why do you like Mulan?
No, actually, so Mulan is a daughter, and she saves her father. And having daughters myself, you know, that resonates, I guess. There's a real touching scene at the end that I have an almost manly tear right here when I see it. Same
Okay,
thing.
just for blink twice if your daughters have a gun to your head right now off camera. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we've established that you are a sappy dad who likes Disney princess movies and ancient Japanese battleships that have been launched into space. What about what are your other hobbies? Like, what do you do when you're not just writing up a contract every 16 weeks to buy more cans of soup and beans because you're clearly a destitute, out of work lawyer?
Well, it's probably going to get me in trouble. I'm a military history fan from way back. I wanted to be an F-14 pilot long before Tom Cruise ever made Top Gun. Unfortunately, my eyes sold me out in high school. So I worked on a PhD in history for a little while, then realized that my political leanings would never get me, would never let me get a job in a liberal arts school. So I've been a military history buff since forever, but I'm also a war gamer from way, way back.
Okay, Wargamer. You see on my shelf nothing but Warhammer. Do you have you dabbled in the Warhammer universe?
Let's see, how old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay, well, I was playing Warhammer 40K before you started, probably second grade.
Okay, so then I've got a question, and it was asked in a super chat. Who is your favorite Chaos god?
I don't know if I want to say because they get pissy, the ones that don't get picked, but Corn.
Corn. No. Skulls for the skull throne. Blood for the blood god.
He's the war god. What do you mean? Of course, I'm a war gamer, you know.
I pick Corn every time. I pick Corn every time.
You understand that everybody that works in my firm is scratching their head while they're watching this going, what is that? What are they talking about?
Well, just it's in a can, it's in the grocery store, and it's devastating to your enemies. That's what you need to do. Okay, I've gotta ask this. What's your favorite pickup line?
Mine?
Yeah, I know you got daughters, so you're a bit out of practice. But,
way out of practice.
What's your favorite pickup line though?
Gosh, Nick, I don't think I ever had a pickup line. I think wow.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank here.
Okay, so if you don't, now mine I got from a guy named Dick Masterson. It's hey, tell me about your shoes. Remarkably effective.
Oh wow, that is good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But I don't get to use it, of course, because I'm a very married man and a happily married man, as are you.
Yes.
So this is useless knowledge. But okay, so you don't rely on pickup lines anymore as a married man. What aftershave do you wear? I mean, I can see that you don't shave very often.
Old Spice.
Why is that?
Well, I've been wearing Old Spice since I was 18 years old. I had an uncle, my Uncle Harold. He's gone now, but he's a Korean War infantryman, combat veteran. So I'm at his house one day when I'm about 18, and he walks by me and he smells the air and he says, "Boy, what are you wearing?" And I said, "I'm wearing Aramis." He goes, "Aramis, what's that?" And I said, "It's men's cologne." He goes, "Hmm." And so he goes to the back, and I'm talking to my aunt and my cousins, not really know anything. He comes back out with a box of Old Spice, and he says, "Here, this is what men wear." So pretty much from that day to the present, I've worn Old Spice.
Reminds me of that Celebrity Jeopardy when Sean Connery's ragging on Trebek's like, Aramis. Do they make it for men?
Yeah, I was telling somebody recently a similar thing about an M1911 45 caliber pistol, and I said, it's like a Glock, only it's for men.
I had a 1911. I tragically lost it in a boating accident. It's at the bottom of. I was drinking too much to remember what lake, so it's long gone. Sorry, government. The gun has fallen to the depths of the sea. The depths of the sea. Let me see. I had a couple other questions written down. Okay. Did you have any comments? We're not talking about super specifics, but did you have any comments about the Vic case that you want to make? Anything you're authorized to say or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm not going to say obviously anything in detail. Not that our legal strategy is particularly difficult to figure out. The striking thing about this case is that Vic didn't do anything for 3 or 4 weeks. He just sat back, and these people continued to batter him and pummel him. And he tried his level best to take the high road. He gave a very heartfelt apology for not understanding people. He didn't admit to anything that they were accusing him of. But
wrong. He confessed to everything. I heard it from a Twitter lawyer. He confessed to everything.
I heard that too. But the thing is, these people weren't interested in any kind in apologies or in genuine being contrite. They wanted to destroy him, and he sat back and took that beating for at least 3 weeks, maybe more, until finally he met me and we got to talking, and I agreed to take his case. The guy did everything he could reasonably to let this blow over. And these people have just been beating the war drums the whole time. They don't care that he apologized. And that was never what it was about. This witch hunt. Well, to call this a witch hunt would be an insult to the Salem witch trials. The Salem witch trials were actually trials. I mean, there was a judge, there was a jury, witnesses were called, they were cross-examined, there was due process. Now, the results were not results that we would like, but the bottom line is the Salem witch trials were infinitely more fair than what Vic got. Vic was the target of a bunch of allegations, uncorroborated, from way long ago, and his entire career was destroyed overnight. Now, I'm sorry, I believe that people that commit assault, sexual assault in general, that kind of thing, should be punished. I mean, I've got daughters, I have family members who have been sexually assaulted, and I mean raped. I don't mean made uncomfortable in their work environment. So, I don't have any empathy for that. I've always felt like you got to turn the person that did it over to the families. That would solve that problem. But we live in a world today, apparently, where people that you thought were your friends, and that's another striking thing here, is his accusers were all people that he thought were his friends, his best friends, people he had known for decades. And out of the blue, they come out and say, 10 years ago, you did something that made me uncomfortable. 10 years ago, you did this. Now, a man should not lose his ability to make a living because of an accusation like that. That is not right. That's not the system that we have. It is not even close to fair. And I think Vic, bless his heart, he tried, as we say down here in the South, he tried his best to ride it out, but they wouldn't let him. And
right.
I just,
yeah, that's the difference between now and probably a generation ago. Is a generation ago, you could make some sort of amends. You could you didn't have to necessarily admit to any specific wrongdoing. You could make some apologies, and people could let a crisis blow over. But now, in the age of social media and the age of quote unquote social justice, it's chumming the water, saying anything is chumming the water and letting the sharks come in, and it's a real shame that's happening, because like you said, at least in the Salem witch trials, at least there was a trial. For Vic, they're just accusations. Almost all of them have zero credibility. It was someone I heard somewhere had this experience, and that's of course no one can verify that. There's no date, there's no time, there's not even a convention attached. And then the what I call, and I put it big air quotes, the credible accusations coming from his friends are only credible because at least the victim is an identifiable person. Right. Rather than an anon on Twitter or an anon on a board who might actually just be mad that he didn't sign their stupid Yowie art or whatever. But that's a separate sort of thing. Say two things. I need to read a bunch of super chats, and I need you to be there for at least part of it because some of the questions are for you. And I've got one of my very, very longest listeners and best supporters, Keck, says he will murder me if I don't have some questions at least read to you. So I definitely want to get some of those done. But first, before we do that, and then you'll be free to go as soon as you need to. But I would ask you to stay around for some of those chats.
Not a problem, my friend.
Is do you have there's an announcement that you need to make, right? Like we talked about this before the show. There's an announcement that the 9,300 people are watching right now. That 100,000 people are going to see this. Let's make this announcement, and the chat has no idea this is coming. But can you please pour cold water on me, because I'm so excited for this. Can you please make that announcement right now?
Yes, and I have the client's permission to make this announcement. My firm's also representing Todd Haberkorn, another voice actor who's had the same kind of thing happen to him.
You're representing Todd Haberkorn?
Yep.
Are you at liberty to say what for?
Well, I mean, he's been accused of the same thing. Now, his accuser is one particular person, but similar type thing, an allegation from 9 or 10 years ago, and there's plenty of evidence that it didn't happen the way she said, and blah blah blah. This is a totally different case from Vic, so I want to make that crystal clear. Vic and Todd, of course, know each other. That's how I met Todd, actually. So, I mean, I got Kirk, I got to get Spock, right? I mean,
Don't worry, accuser of Todd Haberkorn. Mr. Beard Harris, Bullock and Hughes is just a rinky-dink law firm. They have never been to court. All they'll do is they'll write your will for you.
Gunpoint. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know there are probably 10,000 people right now, or close to 10,000 people right now, who are very excited to hear that yet another person might have to answer for their accusations, because it's weird. You go online and you make an accusation against someone and you ruin their entire life. You make their friends hate them. You make their family question being around them. And they think that this is just okay. This is my truth. No, your truth is for therapy. Your truth is for therapy. The real truth is for the real world. And if you can't back it up, you better shut your stupid mouth and go to therapy. What on earth are you thinking, ruining people's lives over made up garbage? Oh my goodness. I can't take it.
I agree completely. Totally, Nick. I mean, here's the thing. One of the things that makes me actually want to punch through my computer screen when I see it is the old, presumption of innocence is only in a courtroom. This isn't a courtroom. Yeah, you're imposing consequences on people that courts couldn't. A court couldn't tell Vic or anybody else, you can't work anymore. A court doesn't have that power as a general rule.
Right.
These folks are destroying people's lives, 20+ year careers. And, those kind of consequences should require proof. And we have a legal system that's designed specifically for that. If the accusers can convince a jury that it's more likely than not that they are telling the truth, boom, they win. Just that simple.
Yep.
And to me, the idea that people would walk around and congratulate themselves for I don't know, I'm not sure what the hell they're congratulating themselves for. But the idea, I've done so much because I've wrecked somebody's life because I heard somebody say something about it. And these companies that knuckle under to this stuff, or worse, have social justice warrior executives or something. They're despicable. I mean, we don't do that here, I thought, in the United States.
We
Or
haven't.
for that matter, in the civilized West, any world that has pretensions of being a liberal democracy, that we're just going to say, well, if you're accused, that's it, you're wiped out.
Yeah, one of the underlying principles of our legal system and our society is notice and an opportunity to be heard. You at least should get a chance to answer the accusation before you're thrown into the dustbin of history. I'm glad that there are guys like you out there who are equipped to take this fight, and that guys like Vic and Todd are taking up the, I hate to say, like, taking up the banner. It's not fun to be the banner for this sort of stuff, but somebody's got to stand up. Somebody's got to stand up.
Well, of course, I never try to tell a client you have an obligation to society as a whole. Every client comes in with their case, and that's what we work on, is their case. But the reality is, if we don't put a stop to this, it's going to happen to a whole lot of people that right now think, oh, that'll never happen to me.
Yep.
You made the point in one of your broadcasts, you called out a whole bunch of people and said, have you ever interacted with a fan in a way that made them uncomfortable? Well, if anybody's been doing the fan thing for 20 years, are they going to be able to say with absolute certainty? No, of course not.
No, I'll say with absolute certainty, yes. Yes, you have.
Yeah, sure.
You might not have tried to. It doesn't matter, because and here's the worst part. This is what applies to Vic's case, and you don't say anything about this. This is just me. What applies to Vic's case is that these people aren't having a bad experience when they walk away from Vic. They're having a bad experience 5 years later when they reflect on it, after they've had a liberal arts education and changed their political perspective, and maybe are now a neo-feminist or some other thing where they've decided that they're completely consensual, they're completely innocuous, and their actual gratifying encounter with a guy that they really admire is somehow now transmorphed into something creepy years later when they look back on it through a new lens of political ideology. And that cannot be allowed to ruin people's life. It just can't. It just can't.
I agree. We're doing it, though. As a society, we're letting this happen.
Right.
And, as you well know, Nick, the law has statutes of limitations for a reason. Okay.
Yep.
One of the things is, the longer time goes, the less reliable memories are. Any psychology professional can tell you that. Memories are very, very pliable. You can convince yourself that something happened, when it didn't. So the law is properly skeptical of extremely distant memories. I mean, the theory in the law is very simple. If something happens to you, you have an obligation to bring it to the attention of the authorities within some reasonable period of time. And when I say reasonable period of time, I'm talking about years. It's not like if someone gets assaulted, they've got 2 months. No, that's not true at all. Actually, in Texas, for example, in the case of sexual assault, there is no statute of limitations as long as genetic material was collected and there can be a chain of custody. Otherwise, I can't remember the exact statute because I don't know criminal law, but I think it's 6 years.
6 years. It might be 2 in like a misdemeanor battery case, something like that. But I mean, it's an ample amount of time. And look, there are people who don't want to go to court, and that's fine. If you don't want to go through that, you don't want to bring the accusation within the statute. That doesn't mean that you don't get your healing. That doesn't mean that you don't get your therapy. What it does mean is you don't get to ruin the life of someone else based on how you felt about something that you didn't pursue when we could at least test it. And that's a hard thing for people. But the reason we have these tests in place in the way that we have them is because the power of a sexual assault or any type of allegation, even like a fraud or any type of allegation that comes against, it's so devastating to someone that we have to be able to test it. And if the evidence is too stale, the witnesses are old or dead or can't remember things 10 years ago, then how do we do that? We can't, as a society, we cannot put that burden on someone, say, you know what, this person just said 20 years ago you did this thing, and we have no way to test it. We don't know who was there, and we can't examine the people who were there. Sorry, you just have to deal with it. No, we can't do that as a society, because anybody, the potential for abuse is monumental at that point.
Staggeringly so. I mean, how do you defend yourself from someone who 20 years ago said you did something?
Yeah, it's impossible.
Whatever that something is, how do you defend yourself? And there were no witnesses. They just say it. Now, maybe you did do it. I mean, but when that person didn't do or say anything for 20 years, and then suddenly they come up with this, that's putting too much of a burden, as you say, upon the accused. Yeah. And you know what's funny about all this is obviously there's a political element to all this. I always thought that the left was in favor of due process. I really did. I mean, the cases we read in law school, they used to be big fans of due process. It was us authoritarian conservatives that just wanted to lock them up and throw away the key without due process or anything.
Right.
So I'm not sure exactly how that got inverted, but this affects minority males. Just to draw an example. Guess who gets a disproportionate number of false accusations?
Oh yeah, I had my buddy Drexel on. We were talking about that the Me Too. What was really interesting that he said is that and you, if you want to comment on this, you can. And then we'll go on to chats.
Sure.
But basically, under Jim Crow, and this is his perspective as a black man. Yeah, under Jim Crow, we had an enforcement arm, which was the KKK, enforcing these Jim Crow rules very violently under anonymity, and that was black versus white. And we have since shifted away from black versus white, and now we've driven a wedge between men and women and put them in opposition to each other. And we have the same thing. We have faceless, nameless accusers. They don't have hoods, but they have Twitter anonymity. They're enforcing a set of societal rules that are not quite legal. They're a little bit outside of that legal process. But
almost
they were
like vigilantism.
Yeah, it is. It's a new vigilantism, and in my opinion, I mean, certainly you never want to be killed by a mob. That's a terrible, terrible thing. But aside from the individual being killed by the mob, as far as on a macro level, a much more effective thing is destroying someone and leaving them alive.
Oh, yeah.
To tell their story about being destroyed. That's always the joke about Genghis Khan, right? Is that he would leave one person alive from the village, or like a small group of people, so they could run off to the other villages and tell about the horrific things that happened, so that when they got to the next village, that village would just surrender rather than putting up a fight. That's an old tactic, and it's resurged now, and it's really, really terrifying.
I heard that. I was listening to that show you did with Drexel. I was driving back from Dallas, actually, and I would encourage everybody to listen to that. He has a fascinating theory. I hope to heck he's wrong.
Yeah, really me too.
But I'm sitting there listening to his theory going, crap, that guy's making a lot of sense. If he's right, we're in a lot deeper trouble than we know. But very, very thoughtful analysis. I would encourage everybody to listen to it.
Yeah, I would too. I have no monetary motivation for this. Okay, let me start burning through these chats. If I can keep you for a little bit. I know I said I'll only keep you.
You can keep me. That's fine.
Okay, and we're going to go through these really fast. CK says, my law log is so ready for Tiberius III. Angel of Death is hiding, says, slightly off topic, but how does the term warp perspective influence or work in the court of law? I mean, warp perspective in a court of law has to be proven, or at least greatly inferred by experts. You have to prove an incorrect perspective. And in a lot of things, actually in civil law, a warped perspective is not a shield that you can hide behind. If you are intentionally causing someone harm through a warped perspective, you're still intentionally causing them harm. Right. So that doesn't protect you.
Nick, I'm going to jump in on that. That's an interesting point. Again, a lot of these folks that we're talking about don't seem to realize this. You remember in law school, the reasonable person. We right. heard about the reasonable everything. Our civil legal system is built on the concept of a reasonable person. It's an objective system. Now, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, most things like I'm in fear for my life. Well, if you shoot somebody dead, you're going to pretty much have to show that you were in reasonable fear for your life in most jurisdictions. Just across the board, it's not, I felt this. It's, would a reasonable person in your position feel this way?
Yeah.
And that completely undergirds our entire legal system. So a lot of this, reality is whatever I think it is. Well, our legal system doesn't really agree with you, and thank God. I can't, so the idea of a warped perspective justifying, I assume that's what the question was, justifying some kind of thing. No. Remember that right. Our laws are designed for people to be able to live together and get along. It's, our civil legal system is designed to solve disputes, resolve them without gunfire. If we get to the kind of system that these people seem to be trying to bring about, we're going to bring back dueling and other forms of far less just methods of resolving disputes.
Right. Defamation law actually was the solution to dueling. Like I've covered this in a previous stream. That was the intent of it. Was we got to stop having these guys shoot each other in the streets. Rather, we should have them settle it in a court where they can figure out if someone caused the damage, and then if they did provide redress.
That's the way the system works. I mean, I've talked about this in context of the criminal system. Here's the deal: I forego personal vengeance and personal personal honor, and stroking my personal honor. I forego that if the government will agree to take care of it. And as long as the government more or less tries to do that, whether someone has murdered a member of my family or whether somebody's defamed me, as long as I have an alternative that's at least rational and fair, I will forego personal vengeance. But when that system breaks down and we stop doing that, guess what? Human beings are no different now than they were 2,000 years ago.
Right.
They're going, these people are going to bring back the very vigilantism that they claim that they oppose. All the stuff we're supposed to, this stuff's supposed to work in the real world. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
No, that's fine. While we still have a huge audience here, Anime Matsuri sent a very large donation, and they wanted to say the second largest anime convention in the USA, which is Anime Matsuri in Houston, Texas, still has Vic Mignogna on the guest list. Join us in Houston in June. I would encourage people who are in that scene to support the conventions that are supporting Vic. Tell conventions that aren't supporting Vic that you're disappointed in them. Like, let them know. It's not harassment. It's not anything like that. This is commercial speech, and you are allowed to tell them, you know what? You guys are not cool for dropping Vic over this nonsense. And until he's had his day in court, you should have him there at least. But definitely support Anime Matsuri. And Anime Matsuri, I'm going to be sending you guys an email. Thank you so much for the chat. I would love to talk to you guys about coming down in June if I can make it work with my schedule. So I'll be emailing you. For reference, next weekend, I and Lady Rackets will be at Community in Amarillo, Texas. Amarillo. So come join us there if you're in the area. Anyone who dresses up like Vic gets free entry, or who dresses up like one of Vic's characters, not like him. Well, that probably works too. Okay, let me get back to these chats. Stevenican says, Ty Beard, which of the Chaos Gods is your favorite? He already said Corn. Revenzi Black says, I have never made but one prayer to God, a very short one. Oh Lord, make my enemies ridiculous, and God granted it. Voltaire. The Texas 83 says bourbon near to hand, a jointer in need of a few blades, tools to do the work, and some bearded bosses to listen to. Gonna be a good night. Yes, it is. It's definitely a good night. Marty Lund says law for the law god, beards for the beard throne. Ink Penification says, what level of Super Saiyan is Vic's bearded lawyer? 1, 2, 3, black, or God? Blue, buddy. Super Saiyan blue. Super Saiyan blue. Beyond Josh says, legal question. If people were to successfully take down the GoFundMe, could they be sued? Let's just put it this way. It would be unwise. Unwise of GoFundMe to take it down. Unwise of people to try. Keck7Go says, hello, Mr. Beard. Nick told us you are an old school Warhammer fan. What edition of Warhammer Fantasy /40K have you played? What was the first model you painted and your favorite model you have ever painted? Your favorite Chaos God and Space Marine chapter, and did the kids play? We did the God. Okay, so what's your favorite version?
I really can't wait for all my clients to learn my dark secrets. Guys, I played first edition. I mean, the original 3-booklet set that they sold for Warhammer. It was a skirmish level game back in those days. And I remember when 40K came out, it was in the big, thick Rogue Trader book. So I've played every edition. I haven't played the last couple because I've been really just busy. The best edition, in my opinion, was second edition 40K. That was a really good set of skirmish wargame rules. You could change the weaponry from bolters to assault rifles and have a very nice game that can simulate modern infantry combat. But you know, I mean, I played Epic a lot too back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember what Epic was.
Is that the Titan Legions?
Yeah, 1/300 scale models. So that you know, something the size of a modern tank would be about an inch long. Yeah,
you basically had Imperial Knights up to Imperator Titans.
Yeah, you had that. Yeah, the Titan models were about, you know, yay big, and of course the Orc Titan looked like a trash can with legs. It was pretty cool.
Okay, what's your first model that you painted?
Ever? I painted in 1979, a Grenadier D&D adventure set. I don't remember which specific model in the box set I painted, but it was one of them. Do
you have a favorite model that you've painted?
Yeah, I guess so. I do modern miniature wargaming a lot, so I like the US M1 Abrams main battle tank. It's just a work of art, in my opinion. And
the real one's a work of art too.
yeah. I have to say, there are many like it, but the M1 is the best, in my opinion.
Okay. And finally, do your kids play Warhammer at all?
No, my kids are daughters.
Wait a minute. What are you saying? What are you saying? They should play Sisters of Battle then.
Well, yeah. No, they were pretty typical little girls.
I'm going to warn you. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. 40K, there are people trying to make female Space Marines and saying that there's not enough representation. So I may be calling you whenever that inevitable lawsuit drops. Blaine 20 says, for all we ought to have thought and not thought, all we ought to have said and not said, all we ought to have done and not done, I pray thee God for forgiveness. Amen. Thank you. Automata says, I prefer asses. Mythos Irving says, you're late, Nick, fear the beard. ILMAO says, fear the beard. Painful Buggery says, Nick, I've confirmed I'm immune to my university's moral brigade. My positive rate my professor ratings do something after all. Also, in my next bio lecture, I'm telling my students there are only 2 genders. That's great. Palix Tobin says, one tweet lawyer. That's a reference to you, by the way. There's an anime called One Punch Man where Saitama, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he's a superhero who defeats all of his enemies in one punch, and he's just searching for a worthy opponent, and he can't find one.
So, Nick, isn't there a lawyer anime? Somebody told me that there is a lawyer.
It's called Phoenix Wright. I've never watched it. I've never played the games. I'm supposed to do it.
Let's see if we could get a gig being voice actors on that show.
You know what you and I should do? This is legitimate. You and I should watch an episode of Phoenix Wright and do a review of it from a real lawyer perspective. I think that would go over very well.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Ryan says, sipping on some Knob Creek. Have a shot on me. Thanks, buddy. Steven says, holy poop. Ty sounds exactly like Billy Bob Thornton. Repeat it in case it's missed. Who's your favorite Chaos God? We covered that. Comrail says, I heard that Javert has a deal on bread today. Apparently, you can get baguettes, 2 for $6.01. Javert. Palix Tobin says, one tweet lawyer. The Coke Master says, this is the God and Jesus show for lawyering. Yellow Flash 2 says, we will end Twitter court. The line must be drawn. I agree.
Agreed.
RZE.
Twitter court. I like that.
Yeah, it's I call it going to battle against the law firm of Twit and RZEQDW says, I needed legal advice. I asked Nick. I live in Texas. Nick referred me to Ty. Ty and his fellow lawyers were great help. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Ty. Thanks, buddy. Craig Litton says, Ty Beard, FFT, crushing these smooth brain SJWs will be easier than schooling grognards on TMP. I don't even know what that means.
Okay, let me. All right, fine. Thanks, guys. This here is a set of war game rules. I'm the designer of a set of war game rules called A Fistful of Toes. A toe is an anti-tank guided missile, FFT. TMP is the miniature page. This set of rules covers, as it says, from 1915 to the near future, modern armored combat. I have a lot of really good fans and stuff. It's actually used by the RAND Corporation to help the Army refocus on fighting maneuver warfare battles against the Chinese.
Wait a minute. You told me about this the other day, but I didn't realize you created the rule set, Fistful of Toes?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. That's so much funnier and more impressive than I thought. I thought you were just saying that you used it.
No. I was the original. I actually. So the funny thing is, I actually wrote it partially while I was in law school. Might explain why my grades didn't do that great that semester.
No, we don't talk about law school grades. Disavow.
I wrote the first version and gave it away for free on the internet back in the late 90s. And I met Paul Minson, an MIT materials science engineer, and he and I got to talking, and he agreed to help me develop the second version and now the third version.
I think you're building credibility here.
Either that or my clients will be calling tomorrow going, now, what is this toes thing you do? But it turned out one of the players of the game was a RAND analyst, actually to a couple of them. And the RAND Corporation tasked them with the designing manual war games to help the Army refocus on fighting the Russians and the Chinese after, 17 years of fighting infantry battles. And they told RAND, well, we can do that, but there's this set of rules commercially that we can get that'll work just fine. And so RAND said, well, get the guy's permission. And they called me. Of course, I'm geeking out going, wow, the RAND Corporation. So, yeah, that's what that was.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, the RAND Corporation is everything that the left hates. they're the physical embodiment of everything hated by the left side of the political spectrum. They're a defense contractor. They're a strategist. They do all of the stuff that people routinely scream about. That is important to the defense of our nation, and so they're huge. Go read up on the RAND Corporation and do it from a good site, not like Jezebel or whatever. Joseph Aldred says, "Wait, beard and hair, lol." John Albert says, "Ty, what do you think of Vic?" I don't know if you want to answer that or not.
I do. Okay. Actually, I do. He's a hell of a guy. That would be how I describe it. He is, best I can tell, every bit as nice and as decent as he appears on those videos. I don't know everything about it. We don't have mind reading machines, but in 22 years of doing this, I've run into a lot of people. He's good people. He's very good people, and what's happened to him, I think, is a travesty. But yeah, he's a very good guy. I would be proud to call him friend.
I will say this about Vic. And Ty didn't say this in the same way, but I think he means it in the same way. We deal with a lot of liars in our profession. You deal with people and they don't necessarily want to lie. It's not intentional, but you get really good at finding the lie. And sometimes our job is to get past that because people have a natural tendency towards telling their own story. My impression from Vic is that Vic is pretty genuine. I mean, I talked to, I know there's someone out there, someone who probably thinks he's not a target of a lawsuit, but I'm not going to say his name, who says that Vic is an actor and you shouldn't listen to him. Listen, buddy, I have dealt with very good actors. I've dealt with very bad actors. If Vic is acting and fooling me into thinking that Vic is genuine on this stuff, then Vic needs more Oscars than anyone else has. I can't think of anything. I rarely come across people who sell themselves as genuinely as he does. I could, of course, be wrong. Like Ty said, we're not mind readers, but we do deal with liars all the time. And
well, Nick, here's the math, right? Let's say that each of us has a 10% chance of being wrong, you and me both. Well, the odds of both of us being wrong are something like 1%. You see? And the odds of everybody in my firm misreading him completely independently. Now you're talking about 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000, 1 in a million. Yes, obviously you could be wrong, but I just don't think it very likely that as many people in our profession that have met him in our firm, all of us would be wrong. I don't think that's the case. Yeah. And they all say the same thing.
And I mean, it's crazy. Like when I hear the accusations, one, they're ridiculous, but two, when I hear them from Vic and it just doesn't, I don't get the impression that he's lying. I get the impression very much that he's genuine. And so that's me. And we have, of course, Ty and I have had very different conversations with Vic. But either way, he seems to be a very good man. That's what I get. Wayfarer says, "This is awesome. Take my money gladly." Now I've duped you into giving me money, according to some fatso on Twitter. Forever 229 says, "Flash." Jay Moore says, "I love he's drinking with you." Well, you know, the idea that lawyers don't drink is a weird one.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Kim Pachidar says, "What do you think about the Michael Jackson estate lawsuit against HBO?" I haven't watched the documentary. I haven't looked at the lawsuit. I just found out about it today. I'll have to get back to you on that one. Oshi says, "I killed my Rooster Teeth sub to give my money to someone who isn't insane. Thank you so much for doing that." Rooster Teeth, and Ty will not comment on this, but I think Rooster Teeth is really stupid, so that's their choice. Dubler says, "Way to give the fans exactly what we didn't know we wanted." Thanks, gentlemen. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Keck7Go says, "Beard, your mere present puts Nick into shame." How dare you, Keck?
Oh, that's just mean.
Can you take over the show from Nick and be our new leader and internet daddy?
Wouldn't. No.
Yeah, he wouldn't dare because I will fly right back to Texas and we will fist fight over that.
Yes, it'll just be a big epic battle. No one will win in that fight.
JP Gatruckett says, "Beards give a 2+ in vuln save with a reroll, BS7. Taco Jones says, "Has Ty ever been called a petulant little jerk?"
Oh, probably.
I was just the other day. I really want that on a mug.
That's an inside reference then.
Oh, Shane, my friend Shane. He and I we're best friends. It was all a ruse. Shane actually loves me very much, and since I said it on the internet, it's true. Shane called me a petulant little jerk because I was demanding that he just answer any basic question. Mega Vigoroth says, "Ty, can you please expose this sham lawyer?"
No.
Oh, okay. So I have to ask, lawyer to lawyer, you've seen me lay out some of the potential strategies. Now, obviously not commenting on what your actual strategy is with Vic because it's client individual, client specific. Are the strategies I've laid out, are they nonsense?
Oh, of course not. No, no. I thought you did a very thorough job of laying out the options. Of course, part of the challenge for any lawyer, of course, is to figure out which of the strategies in this menu you're going to use, and execution is the big deal. But no, I thought from a theoretical standpoint, I don't mean that disparagingly.
Right.
From a theoretical standpoint, I thought you did a very, very good job of laying out all the options. A couple times I was going, how do you know that?
Well,
so yeah, and I thought you did a very good job. I would recommend anybody watch those, for that. Well, and the comment about belt buckles that could receive satellite TV, that may be the greatest line of 2019 I've heard so far.
Thank you for that. Because I'm just a fake lawyer, and it's nice to have a real lawyer validate me. Joseph Aldred says, objection. Crimson Glory 287 says, I'm glad to be here for the WrestleMania of internet shenanigans. Super Bowl for you normies. Let's see. Thornock Gaming says, thank you, Ty, for taking the time to talk to us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Cormoran says, for Ty, do the wisps of fluff Rackets calls a beard legally qualify as an actual beard? He's talking about my scruff here.
Yes, I believe that's a beard. You betcha.
Well, and to be fair, I only shaved it because I had a wedding and a funeral this weekend. And,
yeah, that's right.
And so we'll be back to Mountain Man very soon.
There you go.
Let's see. And let me reiterate, because I know it is getting late. Anytime you need to make your exit, let me know, and I'll let you have a proper sign off and stuff like that. Okay, so Talon Sear says, Ty, Ron Toye says he called your office and left a message. If he talks about any encounter with you, are you also allowed to speak about your side?
Yes. I don't know where these folks are getting the idea that I'm somehow under a gag order. As long as my client gives me permission, I can comment. Now, I may choose not to, but
yeah, it's.
I don't know. I don't know where some of these fantasies come from.
It's almost like Ron Toye isn't your client, and you owe him literally zero.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we lawyers have got certain ethical things that we've got to obey. It doesn't get you very far to quote the American Bar Association model rules, because they're not the governing organization for either Nick or myself. I mean, I'm governed by the State Bar of Texas, and what strikes me as odd is, lawyers send obnoxious letters out every day to people telling them you've done this, you've done that, you've done the other thing, and we're going to sue you, and blah 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 blah. And somehow a fairly innocuous tweet is this horrible thing, and I thought it was kind of funny, but no, I absolutely can comment. I may choose not to, but I can.
I don't know how much you realize that he was in a bathtub crying for 6 hours after that tweet. Okay, Mega Vigoroth says, just kidding, much love, Nick. Thank you. Andrew Collins says, all hail our leader, all hail Nick. Also, all hail brother Ty Beard. Fear the beard, fear the beard. All shall open our Vic Gospel Bible. Repeat, fear the beard, hail the leader, all bow. Sound of one hand clapping says, never had so much schadenfreude as Ty's 5 words. Angel Rin 89 says, how is Vic doing? Is he doing okay? We care about his well-being. I know this has been hard on him, Mr. Beard. I don't know if you want to comment on that. Let's just say that Vic is doing as well as can be expected in all of this. And unfortunately, the nature of what's going on, I don't think Vic is in the best place to be talking publicly about this, but when he's able to, when it's right, I'm sure you will hear from him, and I would not presume to put a status on someone else.
No, I agree. All I'll say is, in my opinion, he's a hell of a lot tougher than most people give him credit for.
There you go.
That's my opinion.
Sakaki Onsai says, simply stating, Ty Beard is wearing a beard and tie. We're going into Inception mode here. Nintendo Luigi says, Ty and Nick are both savage warriors who crave justice. Keep up the good fight, boys. Keck7 Go says, Ty, have you done tree law? Have you ever done tree law?
Tree.
I learned about tree law, and I definitely want to practice. In Minnesota, if someone comes on your
I've done timber type stuff.
No. Get this. In Minnesota, if someone comes on your property and they cut down your tree, your damages are triple the value of the tree at the age of the tree. So can you imagine?
Interesting.
You cut down like 100-year oak. That's like what it would cost to bring 100-year oak, transport it from a place and put it in your yard. You get triple damages of that.
Wow. Well, you know what? You should ask Mr. Bullock that question, because we've had cases where, you know, oil and gas business in Texas, you know, every now and then an oil or gas company will go bulldoze a path to lay a pipeline or something on the wrong tract of land. And we have handled those. We have handled a couple of those type cases, but we didn't really call it tree law. We should.
You called it arborist lawicus. No.
Yeah, something like that.
He also
Codex Arbor.
Yeah, Codex Arboretum. Keck7 Go says, also, is that a live hand grenade behind you, and where is your cowboy hat?
The hand grenade live, that's a complicated term. The hand grenade is perfectly safe as it sits now. My Stetson, actually, I don't know where it is. I do actually have a Stetson because I live in Texas, and we're required by law to have a Stetson at all times.
If your clients are oil and gas men in Texas, you better have a Stetson.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, we have our party every year. We celebrate John Wayne's birthday in my firm. Been doing it for 20 years, and so we have a big party, and I have to have a Stetson for that. I mean, you know.
Of course.
Yeah. If you're a Beard Harris Bullock and Hughes client, you get an invitation. Otherwise, you do not.
You better give me an invitation this year.
Yes. Well, yes, of course. You'll get one.
Okay. Kilroy was here, says, this is the first time in my life I've ever paid a lawyer. Love your channel, and to Ty Beard, keep fighting the good fight for justice.
Thank you. Sure.
Bow Wow says, to Vic's lawyer, and you might not want to answer this, or you might. How long have you represented Vic? How well do you know him personally? And you can just say you don't want to answer if you don't want to.
Well, I don't want to get into that. Not long, and I don't really want to get into that.
Yeah, that's not. Unfortunately, that's not a good question for a lawyer to answer in active litigation. That's something we can answer years from now. Henry Dorset Case says, SR-71 in the background and the Duke in the foreground. Dude's a boss. Blazian Domo says,
points to you for knowing an SR-71.
Do you know that was my favorite plane of all time? As a kid, especially, I used to read about that thing. I made my dad buy me like the giant Air Force books from Barnes and Noble that are like 2 feet by 3 feet, because it would have an SR-71 on the cover. I'm like, I need that book. He's like, why? It's like, so I can look at the SR-71.
You know, that plane was designed with people with slide rules. Is that not amazing?
Yeah, it really is. To remember that we didn't always have a CAD program to do everything. Right. Blazian Domo says, hey Ty, what kind of drink is that? Looks good. You mentioned that's the Duke bourbon.
Yeah.
Quietness. Here's my Funimation sub for the month. Would prefer it go to a good source. F for Funimation subscription. Thank you very much. Destro says, hey, just so you know, Ron/Monica are in your chat. I doubt that's actually them, but if they are, hi, how are you? ISJ322 says, oh, come on. We must secure the existence of our beards and a future for unshaven faces. Also, I'd rather my anime died than become social justice trash. Lily Liver says, this smiley face, stream smiley face, is smiley face, threatening smiley face, me, smiley, smiley, smiley. I think nice. There's a guy named Hero Hey who tallied up the total number of smiley faces sent out by one of our favorite tweeters. And it was something like 47 smiley faces, not including wink faces or others, just smile, like straight smiley faces, 47 in a week. Whew.
Seems a bit excessive, doesn't it?
Ben Cheever says, Nick, I want to make sure the money from the Indiegogo is in the law firm's account, not still in the clutches of Indiegogo. I'm worried that they will start reporting the campaign based on what you said, maybe even file a police report for an incident 10 years ago. The money in the Indiegogo is about as secure as it can get. We'll say that. Gay and Still Large says, yo, Big Beard, what's your poison tonight? Can plebs such as we afford it?
I don't know. It was a gift. The client gave it to me, so I don't know.
So then, yes, you can definitely afford it because someone can always give it to you as a gift. Daryl says, just got a full hard-on when I saw this on YouTube. Thanks, buddy. I hope that's still a problem for you. Siren Jag says, thank God the stream finally started. I'm glad something around Nick finally starts within 9 months. Thanks, buddy. Zypher Warrior says, Fear the Beard. Can you discuss your credentials? What are your credentials, good sir? You're now an internet lawyer. Now you're completely discredited.
I am a licensed attorney in the state of Texas. I graduated from law school in 1996. I hung a shingle, started much like Nick here. I started my own law firm, just got out of law school and had to make a living. Didn't have any money, had a wife and a young child. And I've worked very consistently and constantly for the last 22 years. I'm the senior partner of our firm, the founder of it. I don't know what else you can say. I've got a lot of clients that are satisfied, a lot of enemies that hate me. Yeah, that comes with the turf.
Wait a minute. Did you graduate from SMU?
I did.
One of my earliest football memories was watching U of H pound SMU into dust live.
Yes. Yes. You see, we got the death penalty.
It was like, what, 95-6 or something like that? Do you know the game I'm talking about?
I probably have blocked it out of my memory. As you know, Nick, we got the death penalty in the mid 80s because we had the audacity. I know this is horrifying. It appears that some of our boosters actually paid players to play for us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that was so horrible and so completely unheard of that they wrecked the football program and it still hasn't recovered. Although I hear they're actually doing better now. But,
this was the season of their return because they got actually suspended from playing NCAA football. This was the season of their return. So it would have been mid to late 80s. My mom and dad took me. And the best part was the Cougars mascot had pledged to do however many push-ups or however many points they had each time they scored. At the end, there were two male cheerleaders helping him, one on each shoulder, helping him do the 95 push-ups after he'd already done 200 push-ups.
Yes, those were grim days indeed.
Okay, Guns Down in Hail says 2 beards, 1 office chair. Don't think dirty, Nick. Oh, come on. Lord Chippy Dip says Ty Beard has the balls of Zeus himself. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate that.
Zimkai says, Mr. Beard, were you aware of anime, specifically DBZ, or the industry at all before taking the case for Vic?
Other than Space Battleship Yamato, that's about the only anime I've ever watched.
Uchiha Kagai says, hey, Nick, hypothetically, if Vic was going to legally go after Mars Girl, what charges would it fall under? Also, from your personal legal standpoint, would Vic be advised to sue her or no? Okay, 2 things. If he's going to go after her, from what I've seen, it would be conspiracy and it would be defamation. It would be tortious interference with prospective business relations. Those are the 3 main charges. From my personal legal standpoint, would you advise Vic to sue her? I cannot answer that question because I cannot, within my ethical bounds, advise Vic to sue or not to sue anyone. I think he could make a good case against her, but I cannot advise him one way or another. That's a choice that he would have to make with his actual retained attorney. Ryan Pond says, Ty Beard is the lawyer's world Broly, confirmed. Good job.
Is that good? Is that good?
That's Vic's character in Dragon Ball Super.
I'm flattered.
And overwhelmingly powerful in a hilarious sense.
Okay, yeah, it might be a good fit.
Yeah. Celestia Silver King says, you have a majestic beard. Daryl says, just got a full hard on when I saw this on YouTube. That's the second one. Too many erections, guys.
Yeah.
PGN White Knight says, do you and Ty like Woodford Reserve? I do. Do you like Woodford Reserve, Ty?
I don't know that I'm familiar with it.
It's a bourbon.
Yeah, I'm a man of fairly simple taste. Old Charter is about as good as it gets for me. So unless the client gives it to me, I probably don't know anything better than that, or Jack Daniels.
We'll share some Woodford sometime. It's a good smooth one.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Albert says, Ty, let me hear that lovely, lovely Texan accent.
Well, actually, it's a Louisiana accent. That's where I'm actually from. But I got here as quick as I could.
Now, people may not understand that East Texan accents and Louisiana accents are very, very similar until you get to Eastern Louisiana. When you start to get to the New Orleans area, that's when they all start sounding like they're intoxicated all hours of the day.
No comment, because I have a lot of kinfolk down there.
Hey, my mom was from Slidell, Louisiana, and we were down in New Orleans one year. I'll never forget. We stopped at a gas station to ask for directions in the years before GPS, and I was inside the gas station with her, and the guy said he said something, but it was definitely not English. It was, hey, old man. And she knew exactly what he said. And she looked at me and said, did you catch that? No. But yeah, I do think you have a solid East Texan accent or a Western Louisiana accent. And it always reminds me of home, of course.
Thank you.
No joke. Like Tennessee actually has a very similar accent to Houston, Texas, in my opinion.
That's interesting.
And so I was in Tennessee earlier this year, and it reminded me of my grandparents, and I was like, being in the South, it just brings me back. Shanksy Beast says, Jamie admitted she has no evidence. I mean, well, that's going to be rough for her, I suppose. Forlorn Lemon says, we will be in touch. Fecking legendary. There you go. CD Nigma TV says, thanks for upholding the notion of innocent until proven guilty and for the most interesting perspective on this whole situation. You're welcome, and I'm sure Ty agrees with that. Fancy Gusto says, is Mr. Beard a lost Primarch? Are you one of the two lost Primarchs, Ty?
It's possible. Anything could be possible.
If you ever come up to Minnesota, I'll show you my collection back here of the Primarch books. I have all of them.
All right.
Let's see. What do we got now? Angel Rin 89 says, Ty Beard Ace Attorney. Spanish Inquisition says, press K for kill stream. I guess if you want to. I was on the kill stream earlier. I'm glad Ralph is back on YouTube. Prince Holly says, Ty is Alpha AF. Hashtag FearTheBeard. Hashtag I stand with Vic. Sloth of Speed says, thanks. Super informative. You're welcome. KTTK says, have you ever had a gunt job before? I have not had a gunt job before. I don't assume you have either, Ty. Just
gonna go with no on that one.
Please, thank you. Thank God. The answer is no. I'll explain that to you in private sometime.
You really don't have to. I don't think I want to know.
Yes, stay a sweet summer child and don't let the internet ruin you, good sir.
Yeah.
Brian Williams says, congrats on the rapid growth, Nick. Nice to see a drunk stream where the guest participates as well. Drink up to Battletoads 100% completed and starting the Smooth Jazz Law ASMR. I have clips of you promising us, Nick. We'll see what we can do. Kawaii Potato says, dang, almost 7,000 people watching. Of course, we were over 9,200 at a point. Anon-VA Anonymous says, thanks for exposing the corruptness of my work environment, Mr. Beard. Same to you, Nick. Keep up the good work, boys. Also, Ty, your banter is unreal. Can I get a yeehaw for the West Coast lawyers?
Yeehaw! That's as good as it gets, guys.
Hugh Janice says, with over 7,000 watching tonight, good luck reading all those super chats. Yeah, it's going to be a chore, but I will stick around and read them all, even if all of you go to bed.
Because you, sir, are a pro.
Yes, I am a pro, and I I have made a unilateral contract with my stream, at least at this point, to read all of them. And it's something I very much take very seriously. Hugh Janice says with over... Oh, wait, no. Tabby296 says, thank you for the stream. Hashtag I stand with Vic. These Hands says, Jesse Smollett's next attempted lynching is going to be when he hangs himself in prison. I pray for his success. Well, that's rude. Forever229 says, take a shot for 7K. Thank you, sir. I already took a couple and I need to wait for the next one. Chambers of My Heart says, how's Ron Toye Tai? Lol. How is Ron? Do you want to comment on how Ron is doing?
No.
Okay. I'll say it. I'll say it since Ty is a good man who has no comment on that. I will say that Ron Toye is in his bathtub full of soy sauce right now. He is bathing in Kikkoman and he is crying, and that is his lot in life. JP Gatrokits says, found out someone is recasting and selling my gaming terrain. We'll be looking into an IP attorney. Wish me luck, guys. JP, send me a message. I know your guy. I've got an IP attorney willing to talk to you. Moist John, grossest name on the internet. Amazon Prime, 2-day delivery of your lawsuit guaranteed. Blaine20 says, is 100K backup funds enough? Let me briefly address the GoFundMe. I set the goal at 100K because I think it makes a great statement. Do not be... How do I word this? Support Vic within your means to the ability that you are comfortable doing. I don't want to say you should definitely, you know, it's up to you to donate to Vic. He has not asked for money. I have asked for money on his behalf. I will say that a case like this, depending on how the other parties react, 100K is a start. It's unfortunate. It's the reality of our legal system. When you've got a top tier law firm involved, prices, they fluctuate, but they can go up very quickly. Is 100K enough? Honestly, there is no amount that is enough, but I would never ask people to dip farther into their pockets than they can. And when we hit 100K, I will be making an update reflecting these thoughts. But the short answer is no. And remember that any funds above what is necessary do go to a very, very good cause, protecting battered women and children. We absolutely, that is noble. But I will say that the amount of cost involved with so many potential defendants, it could go up very high. So please do not take the 100K as a definitive answer. You're welcome to do more, but I would never ask you to dip beyond your means. If it is within your means to keep donating, do that. If not, do not put yourself into debt to support Vic. Merely share it, like it, talk about it, and that would be wonderful for him, and he would greatly appreciate that. And for those of you out there who are Christians, I know for a fact he appreciates your thoughts and prayers. I know the left doesn't appreciate them. The control left, right? The loony left, as someone like Rush would call them. Vic very much appreciates your thoughts and prayers as much, if not more, than your hard-earned money. So please bear that in mind. Finally, Wayfarer says, good time to plug the GoFundMe. I just did. June Carl Guay says, if Vic ever loses, you see that grenade behind Beard? Yeah, that's right. Mythos Irving says, it's almost like when you implored the idiots to lawyer up, you knew what you were talking about. All hail the Beard. I mean, shockingly. So, by the way, Ty, maybe you can comment on this. I have given a ton of legal advice, very, very legal advice to the other side. I have said from day one, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Is that wrong of me?
No. The courthouse is no place for amateurs. I mean, really, if I would tell anybody, if you think you may be the target of a lawsuit, get a lawyer now. Talk to them, pay them whatever you got to pay them to get their advice, because you might be relying upon advice that's incorrect. I mean, I know what I would tell people that are doing some of the things they're doing out there. It would be something like, stop.
Yeah,
Immediately.
shut your mouth. What the hell are you thinking?
Let me go try to settle this now. But no, I think it's very clear based on the actions that most of these folks don't have lawyers, because I can't imagine experienced attorneys telling their client, yeah, keep tweeting this stuff. Keep acting like this.
They either
They
have
won't do anything. I mean,
they either have the worst lawyers on the planet, or they're not listening to them. One of those two options. Listen. And I would tell this to my worst enemy.
Sure.
In litigation, please get a lawyer, because even if I'm 100% opposed to you, and you guys need to understand this, even if we as lawyers are opposed to you, as opposed to your position, we want to talk with a rational person with education about the legal ramifications of your actions. We desperately want to talk to them instead of you. Mm-hmm. Because one, we can maybe reason with them. And two, because that better conforms to our obligations as attorneys to not take advantage of other people. I mean, if you call me, if I'm opposed to you in litigation and you call me as a lawyer, I will talk to you. I will answer your questions. Every single one will be answered by, I'm not your attorney. You need to get an attorney. And then here's my answer to you. That's how the 3-step process goes. But listen, get an attorney, because they are removed from your situation. They're neutral, and they're probably knowledgeable on the law. They're certainly, even if they're the worst attorney you could possibly find, they're better knowledgeable on the law than you. And I would rather talk to them than Ron Toye 10 times out of 10. We're not joking. I'm not joking when I say get counsel, and I'm not like giving you some secret inside info. I'm desperately begging you, as my oath requires, please get counsel, because they're the only person in this situation who can help you. Ron, you are not helping yourself, you giant idiot. Okay, next. Sorry. Chapter Master Dante says, questions. Do all of the cool lawyers quote Charlie Day, Bird attorney at law to each other? Also, do we have a date for the 40K stream? I don't have a date for the 40K stream. I still have never watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So I don't know all the Charlie Day quotes. Ty, are you familiar with that show?
Not at all.
Okay, we'll move on. According to James, says cheers. Oh, excuse me. Cheers, gentlemen. Andrew War Snowboard says blackface SJWs can't understand color is a spectrum. That's pretty funny. So Ty, you probably can't comment on this. The funny thing, just listen. The funny thing that was, after criticizing me for a certain picture that is some people find distasteful, it turns out that Jessie Pridemore did blackface for one of her cosplays, and then got called out on it, which is really, really unfortunate. Naruto Martin says, I DM you about fines. By the way, how about that Texan accent? You don't want me to do a Texan accent now. Victor Phantasm says, better ring Rekieta, get Ty to represent me. I'm in Texas. I want him. If you need to get in contact with Ty, talk to me, and I can direct you to him if you've got a case that's within his purview. Nunya Business says, or I guess he could contact you directly, but I'd prefer you go through me first.
Well, yeah. That'll get him on the right list. It'll be on the special Nick list.
Let me screen that for you, and just make sure. Look, if you've got a case, I'll happily represent you. If you don't, or I'll happily refer you. If you don't have a case, maybe I can talk to you about that. But ultimately, I'm not going to withhold the number from you. But, Nunya Business says, based beer drinking John Wayne liquor, SR-71 Blackbird, and hand grenade on the shelf. That legendary beard probably smells like mahogany. Joey Jojo says, the SJWs are in for a huge surprise. This has been a hornet's nest they have been kicking for over 5 years, and it's time to sting them where it hurts, which is right in the face. You thought I was going to say genitals. Forever229 says, take a shot for 8K. I can't take another shot right now. Eyes of the Wolf 101 says, it's over 8,000. I stand with Vic. Michael Uchiha says, sweet justice is coming, lads. Erica we love you, Ty. Put these liars in their place. Wesley de Aguayo says, you know it would be awesome if you went to court, if you guys dressed up as characters from Ace Attorney. Ty Beard could go as Phoenix Wright. That would be funny, but we tend to go dressed as suits. Yeah. Hikari Blue says, wait, wasn't the lawsuit imaginary? It still is. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind.
Nothing's been filed.
Intimidator 108 says, having been at Fort Bliss in 2016, getting ready for deployment back then when with my National Guard unit, it's nice to know there are good folks helping Vic. There you go. TLJ Screwjob says, hi, Mr. Beard. How long did it take you to own up to the name and grow the beard? How long have you had a beard, sir?
I had one in law school. When I got out of law school, I had one for a year or two, and then I shaved it. And about 8 or 10 years ago now, good while, my daughters found an old picture, and they were like, Dad, you got to grow the beard back. And I was like, oh, okay. So I grew it back.
Well, there you go. That's the answer you're looking for. These are the beards you're looking for. Let's see. Okay. And how much are Vic's verifiable accusers praying Daddy no? They're praying it very, very hard. Also, to get rid of any doubt in their minds, can Mars Girl and Jamie Markey be sued for their actions? Ty doesn't need to answer this. I will answer this. Yes, absolutely. Of course they can be sued. And I hope to God they're sued into the oblivion of crowdfunding their next packet of ramen. Oh my goodness. Again, Ty, don't you say a word. Yes, their comments are certainly enough to at least bring a prima facie case of defamation and other things to them. And of course, if Vic wants to sue them, that'll be between Vic and Ty. Lone Goddess donated. Thank you so much. Didn't have a message. Finn Frog said, that's it. Guinness time. Judge me. It's my drink. I like, oh wait, no, Guinness is, I've never drank a Guinness. Ty, do you like Guinness?
No, I'm a pretty, as I said, I'm in a simple taste like Budweiser and Michelob, and that's about it, really. Coors, of course.
I'm the worst beer drinker on the planet. I don't like any of them.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't like hoppy beers at all, and a lot of the microbrewery beers are that way. So I'm just staying with the basic stuff.
I think that's my problem because I tried mead and mead was okay, but beer's a little too hoppy for me. TLJ Screwjob says, what if Vic is guilty of said accusations, would this go to criminal court? No. That's the problem with all of these accusations is even if they're true, and within the statute of limitations, almost none of these would be prosecuted. Only the farthest out cases, only the farthest out examples of what he's done with the least credibility would have any chance of being prosecuted in criminal court. And even those would be really, really hard to pin on someone. That's the worst part of these accusations is that the overwhelming majority is the overwhelming majority of them are not even crimes. It's crazy. Also, for me, this is about Vic, but more so innocent before proven guilty and the UN human rights to a fair trial. If he is guilty, we deserve to know in court. And yes, if he is guilty, if on discovery we find out that he has done all these horrible things, then so be it. But at least his day in court has arrived.
Nick, can I jump in real quick?
Because of course you can.
Right? Yeah, I mean, the truth isn't defense. It is an absolute defense. Well, to defamation anyway, now business stuff different. But the point is, if these people can prove their case, then Vic loses. But I don't believe they can prove their case. I mean,
yeah. Some of his accusers, like Jamie Markey, will say, I can't prove anything. Well then, Toots, you should not be saying anything because we're out of the realm of just like talking about someone and into the realm of ruining careers. And if you can't prove it, then you better not say it.
You know, and honestly, that's the thing I think that's most horrifying about all this. You know, a person spends 20, I mean, Vic's been doing the voice acting roughly about the same amount of time I've been practicing law. And the idea that several of my best friends might turn on me and I get a call from the Bar Association. They say, sorry, Ty, you can't practice law anymore. And I say, why not? Well, they said you did some bad things 10 or 20 years ago. Well, wait a minute. What'd they say? Well, it doesn't really matter. We've made our decision. But wait, don't I get to defend myself? No, you're done. I mean, to me, I sell services just like a voice actor does. Just, you know, I mean, we're in a service business, and the idea that somebody could be literally wiped out of nothing more than an uncorroborated he said, she said, I find that horrifying. I truly do.
Yeah, I agree. Y donated and said, hey, if Beard is still on, tell him if he sees the term gay op floating around, that's basically slang for civil conspiracy. So yeah, if you see anyone saying gay ops are afoot, that's homosexual operations to get rid of the abbreviations. That is basically civil conspiracy. So just so you know. Dorby says, fake, fraud, imposter. Is that Beard even real?
Yeah, it's real.
Beauty Fuel says the blind follow the blind. Octorian says this is the most refreshing to have a guest who answers questions and doesn't have a shoe lined up on the cutting board for an after interview snacks. Come on. That shoe was delicious and you know it. Don't you dare talk about Shane that way. Rick Nikita says Vegeta. What does the scouter say about his power level? Kyle says it's over 9,000. That guy from the thing, it's over 9,000. According to James, it's over 9,000. Sakaki Anzai says, your viewers are over 9,000. Congrats, Vegeta. RZEQDW, Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his watcher level? Forge says, your lawyer power is over 9,000. Sharkman 9K, over 9,000. That's impossible. Deadly Raver says it's over 9,000. Eyes of the Wolf 1-on-1, it's over 9,000. Are you noticing a trend here, Ty?
Yeah.
This is a very famous Dragon Ball Z line when Vegeta, voiced by Chris Sabat, arrives on Earth and runs into Goku, voiced by bipolar lunatic Sean Schemmel. And Vegeta looks in his scouter, which is basically a Google Glass, and it assesses the power level of the person that they're looking at. For example, he ran into a farmer and his power level was like 10. He's armed with a shotgun, right? His power level is like 10. But Vegeta looks at Goku and his power level is over 9,000, which was so high that he had to assume that his scouter was broken. And so he gets rid of it. So when we hit over 9,000 viewers, Dragon Ball, the meme train just kicked in.
I got you. Hey, Nick, I am going to have to be heading in just a second.
Yeah. You have been here way longer than promised. So
it was a pleasure. It was a genuine pleasure.
Well, let you sign off here properly. People can find you at beardandharris.com. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, that was the original name of our firm, and we've kept the website for that reason.
Right. And it's now the law firm. Oh, excuse me. Is Beard, Harris, Bullock, and State Senator Hughes. If you're out there in internet land and you think they only write contracts and they only write wills and trusts, you're right. You're absolutely correct. Run with that theory. They've never been to court. They've never talked to a judge. I mean, you can't honestly say you've ever successfully argued a motion in court, can you? You've never done that.
No, that's crazy talk. I mean, we walk in with our wills that we're drafting as we walk into the courtroom. You know,
right? When I go into court, which I've never been to, by the way, I've only gone as an observer. What I'm doing is I'm handing out LegalZoom template wills to everybody. Yeah, I'm throwing them like I'm at the strip club. I'm throwing them at the judge. I'm tucking LegalZoom wills into the judge's G-string, and you know, as I do, that under every robe is a G-string.
No comment.
Yeah,
gotta go, Nick.
Yeah, get out of here. No. thank you so much for coming on.
Man, it was a pleasure.
As we progress, I would love to invite you back on, of course, in very rare instances where it is merited. But thank you so much for taking up the fight against Vic. And I look very forward to seeing what comes of this, and to the opponents of Vic. I look very much forward to reading every single piece of discovery that is filed as publicly to the biggest audience that you've never anticipated having. I will read every single word of your discovery, and it will be grand. That of whatever's publicly available, of course. So thank you so much, Ty, for coming on. I will bid you adieu and let you peacefully exit the stream. And then it's about to get rowdy, y'all, because Ty is going to go and no longer am I bound by
adult supervision, right? Hey, man, I appreciate you, and I appreciate all your supporters and everything. It's been very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, see you later.
Bye. Okay, guys, Ty is gone. It's time to burn through some more of these chats. Thank you. Oh, right. We can get rid of that. Oh my goodness. What is happening? We can fix the hair a little bit. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to burn through the rest of these chats. So I hope you guys found that entertaining. I hope you found that interesting and informative. I hope, if you're on the other side, that you paid attention. It's not a game anymore. You came after a man's money. You came after a man's reputation, and you came after a man's life. Now it's time to put up or shut your stupid mouths. We would all love for you to put up a shred of proof. But that proof now, because you were so stupid in the beginning, because you were so adamant about destroying someone, now that proof is going to come with the legal process, and you're going to have to sit under oath and answer every single question. And oh my God, you better have good answers, or those pants are dropping and you're getting bent over, and you know it. And only Ron Toye will enjoy that, I'm sure. But you know it's coming. I've been telling you for weeks to lawyer up, you morons, and to shut your stupid mouths. You thought I was memeing, you thought I was kidding, but it's coming. It's coming. You can't do this. You can't just go out and lie about people and ruin lives behind your perceived anonymity and with all of the white knight credentials you can afford. You can't do this. We have a process for putting people out of work. We have a process for taking away their income. And if you don't follow the process, you better be ready for the gauntlet that's coming, because it is not pleasant. Oh, believe all victims. Oh, it's sad that victims have to face their accusers. Oh, the trauma of having to answer questions about your victimhood. I'm sorry, you had the chance. You don't have to answer questions with your friends groups. You don't have to answer questions in therapy. You don't have to answer questions when personal healing is involved. And I will 100% afford you all of the deference. If you came to me and told me your Me Too story, I will listen, I will believe, and I will help counsel you. But the second you try and ruin someone's life, you don't get it anymore, because now it doesn't affect you. You're ruining someone else. You better back it up. You better back it up. And I know, Ron Soye, you're out there sitting there circle jerking yourself all day, self-flagellating and self-fillating over the idea that there's some buried skeleton in the closet. Well, oh my goodness, that buried skeleton better be gleaming bone white. You fool. You fool. You've sat there and disparaged a man for 4.5, 5 weeks now. You have just destroyed a reputation and a complete career. You better back it up, you little bitch. You better back it up. You can't cuck in the corner on this one, Ron. No one's going to answer the questions on stand for you while you sit in the corner watching. You have to be up there. You're going for the full reaming, you idiot, and you better be able to back it up. That mortgage company you work for, oh my God, I hope they're happy to have one of their representatives out publicly disparaging a person. Because did you even think about the ramifications of that? Did you even for a second consider it when you were out there white knighting and gallivanting about with your brazen accusations? Did you even stop for a second and think, oh my God, I hope all of the people I'm parroting aren't just making it up, aren't just misremembering, and aren't just flat out lying for vengeance. My goodness, Ron, I hope to God, for your sake, you can back it up. Because it would really suck to start off a marriage with a lifetime of liens. And you know all about liens, don't you, mortgage boy? You know all about liens. Judicial liens don't go away with bankruptcy. And your E&O insurance isn't going to cover this. And Funimation probably isn't going to step in for Monica Rial. But guess what? You're not married. You don't have spousal privilege. What were you thinking talking about this publicly without spousal privilege? You can be compelled to testify against your cuck wife to be in court. You idiot. You idiot. You don't have the privilege until you have the paper. What were you thinking? What on earth are you still thinking? Even if on the longest shot in history, Funimation decides to preserve Monica, I got news. I'm betting that doesn't happen. But even if that were the case, they owe nothing to you, and you and Monica are not one holy union yet. You're not one holy union yet, and you weren't at the time of the events in question. And oh my God, you don't have privilege. You don't have it. Being fake married isn't the same thing as being real married. So I hope you're happy being a cuck with her rather than without her. But without that document that says you're married, buddy, you can be forced, compelled under contempt of court. Under contempt of court to produce evidence against her if requested by subpoena. And if you choose to ignore the subpoena, welcome to jail, you idiot. Oh my goodness. I hope your Google foo helped you, you moron. Look up those professional rules all day. I'm not your attorney. I'm not Vic's attorney. I'm just a guy on the internet laughing at how stupid you are. Get bent, you moron. All right. That said, let us read some more super chats. Can we do it? We can do it. We can do it. Oh my goodness. Where were we? Oh my goodness. Okay, James Spoon. Here we go, James Spoon. I used to work tech support for a law firm, and any problem EDAT had was a critical ticket automatically. Discovery is taken insanely seriously in my experience. Oh yeah. Discovery is the meat and potatoes of the lawsuit. Of course it's taken seriously. Better not delete those tweets, Ron. Would be real unfortunate if a jury was forced to make a negative inference over a deleted tweet. That same goes to you, Mars Girl Jamie Markey, Monica Rial. Yeah. Don't delete anything, because if you delete it, Jesse Pridemore nuked her entire Twitter. That was a bad choice, Jesse. I hope you didn't know that a lawsuit was coming, Jesse. I hope you didn't do that in contemplation of getting served. Oh my goodness. In case I missed it, Forever229 says, take a shot because it's over 9,000. Joseph Aldred says, Rob Dog Toye. Stevenican says, Ty, should dueling return as a method of legal resolution? Me and several friends are big proponents of returning the laws surrounding duels. You know, Ty's not here. I will say that mutual combat should be allowed. Dueling to the death with guns, I don't think that's a good policy. Joey Jojo says, over 9,000? What? Vegeta, what? 9,000? Let's see. What do we got? Suesponte says, Ty, if when it goes to deposition, please make the parties do a DBZ scream off. Best court record ever. Screw the steno. 93 TJ says, when the court day comes, will it be open to the public to come and sit down? Almost guaranteed. I live in Fort Worth and would like to see this in person. Almost guaranteed. And I will be providing updates as best as possible of court dates as we go on. Mike Walters, considering he's been acting like a mafioso, can't Ty file racketeering charges against Ron Toye? Probably not. Oh, and I have to correct a mistake, and I will. I usually lead with my mistakes. I will do so on the next video or stream. I said that RICO was formed under Prohibition. RICO was actually formed in the 70s, and I'll give a more thorough history on it. My apologies for being incorrect on that. Jesse N says, I have all the Star Blazer DVDs, all 3 parts. Gawker's Death Rattle says, Mr. Beard Esquire, Yamato is OG, respect. Marty Lund says, fire the wave motion gun. Sakaki Onsai says, the Beard likes Captain Beard, Inception. Zero the Slayer says, tell them, nuts. Joseph Aldred says, is this not the greatest man ever? He's pretty good. I have to say he's pretty good. Jay Frozen says, both of you should watch Hunter x Hunter if you haven't already. Joey Jojo says, ask him about Gotcha Man or Captain Harlock. Captain Saracen says, Mr. Beard, how helpful has the database of tweets? Let's see. How helpful has the database of tweets and involved parties we've sent to Rekieta Law been? It's been good to know if we've been any help. It's very, very helpful. Anime Mun says, Mr. Beard, you should watch a show called Space Pirate Captain Harlock. It's written by the same man who wrote Space Battleship Yamato, Leiji Matsumoto. I'll tell him. Jay Moore says, Black Belt Grenade Beard. Bye-bye, Chuck Norris. Victor Phantasm says, tell Ty I'm in Texas and my grandfather paid the watershed sewer rights for a certain city in Michigan. Will/can he represent me? It's over 1 million, right? Is over 1 million right now. Victor, send me a DM on that. No joke. Send me a DM on that. Fatal System Error says, Ty, that SR-71 back there, respect. Mike Lombardo says, there is another Yamato series currently running. Cormoran says, with Disney buying out Fox, Corporal Klinger is now the best Disney princess. Y donated and said, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne, milk for the cornflakes. Absolutely. Burger Lord says, hey, Ty, being a fan of military history, do you agree that Russo-Japan War was one of the wackiest wars and that Admiral Togo was sent by Japanese heaven to be a BA? I'll have to ask him off stream. Browntown says, Ty and Nick, what is your favorite World War II warbird? I don't really, I'm not a World War II buff, so I don't know. Ben Cheever says, dang, Nick, I still love you, but this man is amazing at talking. It's almost like he's a lawyer and does it for a living. I didn't think there was a single American accent that could equal the Oz or the Irish, but I was wrong. You've got to have Ty on more if you can. You two should do a podcast. I'd listen all day. I will have Ty on as much as possible, plausible, and professional. How's that? Revwell Arvida says, Purge the Heretic. Brogana says, any book recommendations for someone looking to get into Warhammer? Yes. Either start with I Am Slaughter, which is the first of the Beast series, or start with Xenos, Xenos, which is the first of the Eisenhorn trilogy. One of those two are great starting points. Oron 1 says, not to put out your other guests, but Ty might just be the coolest person you've had on your show. Ty is very, very cool. I know lots of cool people, guys. And Ty is one of the coolest. Automata says, holy poop, I cannot believe that Ty Beard is real. Was your goal to blow minds for an hour straight? Yes. The Coke Master says, ask Ty about guns. He lost in a boating accident. Not today, unfortunately. Sua Sponte says, kick Vic skulls will be great for the skull throne. They're thick as hell. James Bay says, Kimber 1911-45 in the house. Victor Phantasm says, tell Ty I love the 1911 and read my super chat, please. Victor Phantasm, I definitely read it. I will read it to him personally. I'll send it to him. How's that? Bitcoin Assassin says, I'm going to bed. We'll watch later. Have fun, Nick. I always have fun. Relata Urania says, what came first, the beard or the name? A real man changes his name based on the beard. Yellow Flash 2 says, Mars Girl begged for an oil change on Twitch. Lol. Lego Freak, a lot of 8s and 4s, says, first time donating to you. I do have a question for you and Ty. If these people do get served, how many do you think that this would be a prank and not show up? What would be the consequences for that? The consequences are default judgment. It would be very ill-advised. Revuel Arvida says, apologizing to an SJW is an admission of guilt. It is. Commissar Warder says, Ty, make sure they feel the pain Vic felt. Ristercrap donated, did not say anything. Thank you so much. Talbot Link says, used to be stationed at Dias. Do the bones still make noise over Ty? I don't know what that means. But, you know, unfortunately, I can't ask Ty anymore. Yellow Flash 2, Jesse Pridemore has a GoFundMe to pay her rent. Let's see, Ristercrap again donated. Thank you so much. Mike Walters, the core of this issue is that they wanted the directing positions Vic had because as a Christian, he would not be willing to push the SJW agenda. What are you talking about? I am told so much that the only roles that Vic had at any of these positions were just voice roles and that there is no other roles being gained by any other people. What are you talking about? Priscilla Tuarcada says, amazing, have my subscription to Funimation. Thank you so much. Hashtag FearTheBeard. I stand with Vic. I stand for Todd. I like the Spike Man says, can we please get an anime about Nick losing 1911s in lakes, Masterson, Medicare, and Ty making a scuba team and fighting furries with a World War II spaceship? That would be great. Scary things are scary. Hashtag I stand with Vic and Todd. Rusty Shackelford says, Vic didn't do nothing. Sua Sponte says, Ty, is truth not a defense for defamation in Texas because Texas law actually cares about a person's intention? Truth is a defense for defamation. That's a First Amendment. That's a First Amendment position handed down by the Supreme Court. Truth is not necessarily a defamation, a defense in business defamation, depending on what is going on. Andrew War Snowboard says, Monica needs a reality check. Green Bullet Prod says, hearing about Vic being pummeled for the course of 2 to 3 weeks breaks my heart. I was so happy to hear he's kicking back and wish him the best. Absolutely. Hashtag Vic kicks back. Jay Gennaro says, thought more is going to be no more. Joey Chadwick says, right to a trial. YouTube Made Great Again says, do you have to prove these accusers were lying? Here's the thing with defamation. Here's how this works. If you read a Google search on defamation, it will say that the plaintiff bears the burden of proving the defamatory statement was a lie. I can't stress this enough. Proving a defamatory statement was a lie is simply a matter of saying under oath that it's a lie. A party statement under oath is evidence in a trial. So the evidence says it's a lie. Therefore, it is a lie. Now the burden shifts to the defendant to say, no, it's actually true. And they have to provide not equal evidence to the party, better evidence to overcome the burden of proving truth. They have to, remember, civil court is proving 51%, more likely than not. So once Vic, under oath in a statement or a pleading, says, this statement about me is false, then the court must take the position that the statement is false. At that point, the burden shifts to the other party to prove it true. I hope that clears it up. For all of you people with Google searches out there who keep messaging me that Vic has to prove the statement is false, yes, but you're in civil court. Proof is 51%, and any evidence of a falsehood including just a party statement of the falsehood, is more evidence than none, which comes from the defendant. The plaintiff makes the pleading under oath first. The defendant responds. So proving it is a really, really low bar. I didn't do this, therefore it's false. Oath made, penalty of perjury proven. You're now at 51% at least. So now the defense has to come back and do better. Don't assume your Google search is better than a law degree. I should have my mug with me, but I don't. I'm sorry. To the people DMing me about that, you're wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you don't get it. But it's not my fault. Okay, next. Sloth of Speed says, thanks for being informative. It's my pleasure. Sua Sponte, Mr. Rekieta, you can't be an inquisitor because you believe in absolute free speech. But we're also not in the 41st millennium, my friend. King Brawley says, Nick, when do you want to set up that stream? Also, I sent you some info and a screenshot. I'll get back to you. I don't know. My week is very, very busy. We will see. Sua Sponte says, research Elizabeth Loftus. Eyewitnesses suck. Eyewitnesses do suck. Ear juice. Do you groom beard oil? Have you had it since birth? He answered the question of when he grew his beard and when he grew his beard again. Bolstrom Hori says, never forget what happened to Brett Kavanaugh. Absolutely. Sakaki Onsai says, I have to worry if Shane is going to end up deposed as well, because I could easily see him and his buddies in the con scene getting WTF pwned. That's not up to me. That's up to Ty. I hope he gets deposed. That would be great. Lady Lavalin says, I will name my firstborn Ty Beard. God bless. Anon42 says, Blackstone's formulation must be upheld. It is better than 10 guilty persons escape than one innocent suffer. That is true. Christopher Nicholson says, Vic didn't rape them, but Ty is about to, legally. Anime Matsuri, the second largest... I read this earlier, but I'll read it again. Anime Matsuri, the second largest anime convention in USA, still has Vic on the guest list. Join us in Houston in June. Yes, and definitely check out Anime Matsuri and any other convention that supports Vic. Let them know to keep supporting Vic, because believe me, I know that Anime Matsuri and other conventions are under pressure to drop him. Show your support. Go to the conventions. Talbot Link says, used to be stationed in Dias. Do the bones still make noise over Ty? Again, sorry, buddy. I didn't get that while Ty was still on there. Mega TOW says, hashtag equals pound. Pound me too so I can accuse you. You have to pay extra for that. Angry Weedman says, looks like Pridemore is watching the stream and still thinks she is untouchable because you have ousted yourself on here. Well, good luck, Pridemore. Tacos for hire, hire for tacos. As you mentioned a theory that was pretty scary. What theory? The theory that social justice warriors are the new KKK, hiding behind internet anonymity instead of hooded anonymity. And it's terrifying. Eliel Vladen says, our Lord and Savior Ty, Mother Fu King Beard. Let's see, we've got Kayash the Pally says, but it seems like it's time to duel. TD Mayor TD Mar 380 says, I've been looking forward to this since we'll be in touch. Tweet of doom. The only intellectual informed conversation on this side is on this side. Hashtag Vic. JP Gotrokits says, the devil wants to destroy us by racism. Now he wants to destroy us by pitting man against woman against each other. It's way to destroy / pervert families. I agree with that. The gaming nerd says, all hail the beard gods. Dirty D disagrees. I unironically endorse dueling as a superior form of conflict resolution to defamation law. Nurmac 1 says, Vic and Todd are going to lend their voices in Prince Adventures. The Indiegogo released a crowdfund today. Let's help them out, fam. Check that out. Make sure you pay attention to the updates on that. Mike Man says, thank you. Please do everything that you can to defend justice. This goes deeper than just this case. This affects our entire country. While we are going through this SJW movement, it must stop. Peace and love. Yes, absolutely. Alfonso Imsex says, is it June 6th? If so, that would be great since it's my birthday, and it would be even better if it was in Texas. Anime Matsuri is in Houston. I don't know what you're referencing. Michael Mascarena says Mr. Beard is straight up Ultra Instinct. Goku is not my guy, so I don't recognize Ultra Instinct from Goku. Chris Evans says, what is the Beard's opinion on the squats? Well, that's a good question. Namrek Istos says, true alpha males only need 5 words, like we will be in touch. Eliel Vladen says, every single strand in Ty's beard holds more than 100% of his power. TDMar380 says, Ty is Ultra Instinct, 100% sorry, Goku Beta Sean. Forever229 says, Ultra Instinct is for Nozoa, Beta Instinct is for Sean. A Border Prince Warhammer lore says, thoughts on the Primaris heresy? Burn call. Yeah, man, Primaris, I don't trust it. I think we're... a Border Prince, do you think... And by the way, I'm going to hit you up for my Warhammer stream. Do you think that the Primaris Marines are a long con from Games Workshop to come out with... There's got to be a problem associated with them soon. That's what I think. Quacky Boy says, Phoenix Wright is based on Japanese law, I believe. Citizen Napa says, so by reviewing Phoenix Wright, you'd be doing something similar to that one guy who's supposed to be a doctor who reviews Cells at Work episodes. I guess. Horsehead says, I was thinking you need a sound clip of Nick Rekieta, attorney at law, to the tune of Harvey Birdman. That'd be pretty funny. Hell says, as the one true Piccolo once told Gohan, I pass these words on to Ty. Nerd. Thorn Tizzle says, Ty is my hero. TDMar380 says, change that to a fistful of toyes. Lexum Recon Laugh says, Recon Laugh says, you said not to donate outside your means, but now I have a job and I can donate to Vic's GoFundMe. Thanks for the streams. They're the highlight of my day. My pleasure. DLC Forces says, hey, I just ordered the Horus Heresy books that you recommended. Can't wait to read them. Any other books I should get? Read the Horus Heresy books first and see where you should go from there, buddy. Bad Dragonite says, the Rand Corporation, like Iron Fist. Mr. Armageddon says, if not Danny Rand, like the actual Rand Corporation. Mr. Armageddon says, if you and or Ty Beard are going to do an Ace Attorney review of any kind, I support this. It's more closely based on Japanese law, but still would be interesting to see your review. Omega says, my wife is asleep. My firstborn son is named Dax. Lol. The entire Vic debacle is amazing. Please tell Miranda she is a wonderful, beautiful wife. Thanks. Miranda, you are a wonderful, beautiful wife. Thank you so much for watching. Moonscar says, let's end trial by Twitter. Yes, absolutely. Ben Cheevers, do you know if Vic is watching this? I don't know if Vic is watching this. Because if he is, I want to let him know from the bottom of my heart, thank you for pursuing justice, not just for yourself, but for the next guy and the guy after that, who won't have their lives destroyed because of you. Thank you so much for that. Keck7Go says, Ty was trying to play it cool for the first half of the stream, but turns out he's the Marneus Calgar of nerds. Alfonso M6 says, if you're going to do the Phoenix Attorney, Ace Attorney, are you also going to do Dragon Ropa? I have no idea what that is. Mega Vigoroth says, going after Legal Eagles gig, eh? No, I am not. I would not dare. My reviews will be much funnier than Legal Eagles. Forever229 says, as a Navy man, I challenge you to a drinking battle. You will beat me, sir. You will beat me. Rolana1 says, can the Beard say when the lawsuit is coming? He cannot, but let's just say it's probably soon. Probably soon. Alfonso M6, top 5 anime lawyers here. Angel Rin 89 says, hey Nick, when you watch Ace Attorney, keep in mind it's a show that is a parody of the Japanese legal system. I will try to do that. Boag says, bless the bearded ones. Subs greater than dubs. Great stream. Thank you so much. Pub test. I want a lawyer with a bookshelf grenade. Me too. Blaine20, hashtag me too. Blaine20 says, does this $2 give us attorney-client privilege? No. No. No, it's not about money. It's about intention. Ariel Wolf says, I am a biologist, and here I am listening to a lawyer. You, sir, deserve my very first super chat. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Ariel Wolf. If you ever start a YouTube show, let me know so I can watch that. Cynic in Chief says, Nick's beard is called Lady Rackets. SM Skorks 89 says, I met with Michael Tate, current frontman of the Newsboys, and one of the members of DC Talk. After a concert, he remembered Vic and I passed a message. Well, that was nice of you. Newsboys, they're good stuff. No Name says, what do you think the probably is the poor innocent victims start crying louder, that the mean and evil courts are further victimizing them? It's guaranteed. Steam Tank says, Mr. Beard, on behalf of I Stand With Vic, bring them suckers hell. Salute. Varg, the white one, says Europe is flooding with men of no character. Nick, you have many children. I have 7. Atta boy. I know your fight to survive. Keep this up, as I know you will. All hail Odin. Bless your family with life. Thank you very much, sir. Plasma Owl says, they said Vic wouldn't be doing this. You have a missed call, Rekieta. Rekieta called it. Kind of sure that some of them were considered STDs at conception. Their moms had to carry for 9 months. Wow, that's brutal. Cesari Ijopin. Is Ty Beard considered a lethal weapon in Ty's beard considered a lethal weapon in Texas? Yes. And for Rekieta, since Ty can't comment, opinions on how far ANN and IO9 could be held liable in this mess. Oh, I think ANN is in a huge heap of hurt. IO9, I hope they're in a heap of hurt. ANN though, ooh, you think you can't be sued in Texas, ANN? I hope you're ready to get your passport set. Richie Gonzalez says, Ty Beard, savior of anime. Matt, has Ty played any wizardry games or PC shooters? I don't know. Rebel Without Pause. Ty, what made you choose civil litigation over criminal law? His firm does criminal law. I would suggest that people who do choose civil litigation over criminal law, the answer is usually money. It's much more lucrative to do civil litigation, unfortunately. Anton Bosert says, you two are doing the emperor's work. May imperial justice account all in all balance. Also, favorite Space Marine chapter. Mine changes every day. It really does. I'm gonna go with salamanders today. Toy Bounty Hunter says, Ty, could someone be liable for tortious interference if by tweeting to conventions and encouraging others to do the same led to cancellations? Possibly. Sua Sponte says, screw SR71. Warthogs are a grunt's best friend. Yes, different roles, buddy. You know that. Mega Man 382 says, first time paying a lawyer, and I must say I don't mind it. Keep up the good work, Nick. Thank you very much. Glad to be your first. Trey Y says, Blackbird was my favorite too. Good man. Rotten B says, as a lover of war games, you should try War Thunder. I'll pass that along to him. Ramon Del Rio donated, didn't say anything. Thank you. Makuro Nico, can we create a new term to counter social justice warrior called real justice warriors? RJWs? Possibly, if you can make it work. TL Universe says, if Vic is successful, what is the possibility of Twitter being sued? Probably 0. Are they not also responsible for the accusations made by its content providers? No, they have general immunity under Section 230 of the CDA, and I'm actually not for that so much. Now, if they keep the defamatory tweets up after they've been shown to be defamatory, that's a different story. Richard Fitzwell says, Nick, your stream is literally over 9,000. Yes, it was. Thank you. That was great. Jennifer, do non-for-profit organizations prefer people to donate to them directly or through a second party? Generally, directly, although a second party might be better at organizing. I've heard some interesting things about that nonprofit corporation or organization. Like maybe that nonprofit was dissolved months or years ago. I don't know if that's true. Some of you are better at researching that than me, but I would just suggest anyone who's going to donate to that might want to research it before they donate it to it. Roberto Solis says, go Cogs! Boag says, Mr. Beard, please watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Odamer 657. Ace Attorney anime and game series is more or less a parody of the Japanese legal system, according to the Reddit. But hey, it's a great game as an AA fan. Blood Moon Splicer says, Ty sounds like he gives side quests in Red Dead 2. He probably does. Synac 8 says, has your guest heard about the lawsuit or the cuck lawsuit? Excuse me. Yes, he has heard about them. I've told him about them. I need to send him the documents so he can read it. Claire Freeze says, Ty, is there any indication as to when service might occur in this case? He couldn't answer that question if he were still on. I will say hopefully soon. But Ty cannot give any indication on that. Lock on Stratos says, greetings to Ty and Nick from California. I stand with Vic, Fear the Beard. Thank you so much. Dirty D disagrees. What's the penalty for propane and accessory to propane? I sell propane and propane accessories. The penalty, of course, is that you have to use charcoal, which is not as efficient. You don't want to be doing that. The Sacred Flame says, Does Ty have any words for Ron? Thank goodness we didn't ask him that question. Starless says, esteemed Beards Esquires, you should watch Cowboy Bebop. It is fantastic, I will admit. It is the only anime that won't give you Japanese cancer AIDS. I'll send a recommendation to Ty on that. Let's see. Next, Adam Adams says, I play games with Ty. He's never going to shut up for at least a year. Cody Bayer says, I feel like the grenade sitting behind Ty is his way of sending a message to #KickVic. He would never do that. Never in his life do that. Critical233 says, Louisiana represent. Louisiana represent. Ben Cheever says, first time I've done this 4 times in one stream. I wish I could clip this or something, but I'm boomer level. 2 seconds where the video starts is all. If I get it if you can't easily do this or don't want to. It's worth it though if you can. I'm not going to do that on this stream. I've got to get through the super chats, and by the time we do, it's probably going to be time to end the stream, but we'll see. Keck7Go says, Nick, can you help Ty to update his Twitter profile with #FearTheBeard and link to his law practice? I'll suggest it. I'll suggest it to his daughters rather than to him. Fetus the Patty says, so Nick, how did you end up in our snow-filled hellscape? People actually choose to live here. I ended up here because my dad, through his job, transferred here something like 27 years ago. And that's why I'm here. Rauru the Red Mage says, did you ever play Chainmail? I did not. I don't know if Ty ever did. Cynical Dread said, hello from Arizona. Thank you. I stand with Vic, Fear the Beard. We will be in touch. Wicked Truth. Hey, the lawyers. Assuming things go well in this situation, can you see setting a precedent that could prevent this kind of SJW Twitter brigading in the future? I think we set a social precedent, not a legal one, that there are people who will stand up and fight back vigorously. And if you're gonna ruin someone's life, you better be willing to put your money and your time and your reputation where your mouth is. Jennifer says, please tell Vic we miss him. I will definitely do that. Rich Jerk, Texas or Memphis barbecue? Texas all the way. If you've ever had a Texas brisket, if you've had brisket burn-ins, you'd never even listen to Memphis barbecue existing. No offense to my man Ralph, but Texas barbecue all the way. The Shatty Man says, take my Funimation and Rooster Teeth money. I will do so happily. Thank you so much. Danny Agent 87. Will you get Martina Marcota on your live streams? I will invite her. Absolutely. I've talked to her on EVS's stream. I'd love to talk to her on my stream. That'd be great. I'll invite her. I Can Smell You says, I sent this to Tug, but don't think he read it. Beta Goku Smasher Pass. Pass. Hard pass. Hard pass. James Blackburn says, let's keep this civil, but I will stand with Vic. Hopefully we won't get too toxic tonight. There's no toxicity here, only reality. The Orange Cow says 95,589 out of 100,000 as of now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Megalonic says, I'd like to see Ty Beard do general legal analysis videos with you in the future. I will see if he would be up for that. He's the best guest I have seen on the show. Thank you so much. I'll see about that. Talonseer says, hey, what Christian denomination is Vic anyway? I have no idea. I don't really care about denominations personally. Zach Funk says, considering the average sentence for first time first degree murder, do you think James Fields' 500+ year sentence is cruel and unusual punishment? The problem is he has 38 counts of attempted manslaughter or whatever. Let me just say about James Fields, whether he's guilty or not, I think he got railroaded on that trial, and it'll be interesting to see what his appeal turns up, because he got punishment by in the court of public opinion, and there were some weird things that happened in the court of law. I don't know if he wanted to kill anybody. I don't know if he wanted to hit anybody with his car. He may have, but even if he did, what happened in court was a sham, and that's very unfortunate because it diminishes the credibility of our system. If he's guilty, make him guilty under the rules. Zypher Warrior says they claim that good cause hates LGBTQ. What is Q? Q is queer, apparently. Lily, I don't know. That's like a catch-all, I think. Lily Liver says, I made Ty laugh. It's all downhill from here. Quicksilver says, thanks for the stream, Nick. Shout out to my girlfriend, C Bassy Cat, who's also watching. She's looked up to Vic her whole life. Let's make that 100K. I agree. Let's make it 100K. Fuzzy Pickle says, let's win the case. Marty McFly, is there an online resource to help you find a lawyer? Not a good one. If you know absolutely nothing about law or the type of lawyer you may need. No, I'm looking to put together a video on how to hire a lawyer. It's really tough. There isn't a good metric for it. Addie M says, you're really on the right because I'm on the left. So this would prove that the both sides can come together for the right cause. We stand with Vic. People put me on the right. I mean, I hold positions on both sides. I don't live in a binary world as far as political ideology goes. But I'm generally, I guess, on the right. But here's the reality. I don't unperson someone on the opposite side of me, or on the same side, or on the extreme sides, because we have opinions and they change over time. Put It Away says, no message except thanks to you, Ty, for this pure gold entertainment. I'm sure he's happy to say you're welcome. Seth says, where's Cowboy Nick? I need an erection. Cowboy Nick, I don't know if he's coming out tonight. I can't outdo Ty's Cowboy. The Dark Bunny Rabbit said, had a nice judge who delayed disability hearing when we didn't realize we should have a lawyer for that. I don't think Monica et al. Will be so lucky. I mean, it's going to be hard to prove that you didn't know this was coming. Robert Hubert says, we need to come up with a character fusion name for Ty and Broly. I stand with Vic. We'll think about that. John Albert says, isn't it strange that Funimation said they don't approve of harassment while allowing Jamie, Monica, and Sean are harassing? Yeah, that's real strange. Funimation, gonna have to explain that one, I'm guessing. IT Weeb says, Ty will surpass Nick as best lawyer if his opening argument for the case is him singing God's Gonna Cut You Down. Blaine20 says, can we sue Kathy Kennedy and Rianne Johnson for severe emotional trauma by ruining Star Wars? Hopefully. Super Captain Chris, faux Nick Wright, internet attorney. There you go. Andrew P says, Nick, if you have time, go check Jamie's Twitter. I'm so blocked. Maybe we'll cover that in the next day or two. Lost Warrior says, death of white knights, rise of the black paladin. And guys, I'm going to invite Mumkey onto the show. I don't know. Mumkey Jones, by the way. We're going to talk about the Asperger's situation. Mumkey tweeted to me on Twitter, and I've invited him on the show. I don't know if that's going to be this week, but I'm hoping it's this week or next week. It all depends on what's available in his schedule. But stay tuned if you care about the Mumkey Jones situation. That guy got thrown off the internet, and it's really a raw deal. And we got to support people who get thrown off for merely having the audacity to say something funny. Lost Warrior says, death of white knights, rise of the black paladin. Yeah, Knights of the Rose, you're gone. All become Lord Soth. Lord Soth, we only accept death knights here, you pansies. Inedible Trout says, what do lawyers wear to court? Lawsuits. There you go. Josh says, if Vic is guilty or not, nobody will come out unscathed. No. You've now involved the legal process, and it's ugly and brutal. Andy M says, Nick, what is Ty Beard's advice for you doing another murder on the air? Lol. I think as long as I can pay the retainer, he's okay with it. Mr. Archer, I won't hear you read this because it's my bedtime, but this stream was grand. Justice is one of our society's bedrocks and thrives in the light. Bam. Lol2 Skaters says, I'm happy how neutral you all are going with this. Very civil and professional. You guys are really, I hope everything goes well with Vic in this case. I do too. Zero Kiryu says, it's time for these SJWs to face the law of equivalent exchange. I stand with Vic. Erica says, do you have any idea when this will be taken to court? Ty's not here. I would say, the way it works is first you got to serve people. You got to serve them with the lawsuit, and then there's a lag period between the service and the court. Now, Vic's reputation is being ruined in real time, not on court time, so it may be accelerated. I'm hoping it's very soon. I really do want to see what happens as we get to some official processes. A lot of us are on the edge of our seats and can't wait. Will this take a really long time, or will it be soon? I think we'll have news of it very soon. The overall process could let me prep you. The overall resolution for this could be a year, 2 years out. It honestly could. It all depends on how everybody reacts. The initial stuff is going to be sooner. The motions are going to be sooner. The discovery is going to be sooner, and I'm going to cover it to an embarrassing amount. So you can consider this as your 100% source for the legal aspect of this case. And I will still be doing other shows, of course, but as the legal stuff drops, you will find all the information you need here on the legal end of it. Definitely still watch, the other streamers out there. Hero, Hey, Tug, Yellow Flash. Those guys have been doing great work. And Shield Hero. I'm missing so many guys. Check out their stuff for the deep lore on this, for the gossip. Check on me for the legal aspect of it, and things will be great. Lord Darcia says, just chiming in, has credibility of the Funimation investigation been discussed? It has not been discussed on this stream. It's been discussed at length on Twitter, and there's some big holes in it. Phoenix Lord Asterman says, I'm sending 3,000 points of Eldar to join 3,000 points of Grey Knights to make a stand in an apocalypse game against Emperor's Children to end my group's campaign. Bless me with the powers of law to triumph over chaos. Nick, bless you, Phoenix Lord Osterman. Do not fall in the face of those glorified DJs. As Dimitri Martin said, if you want to make anyone sound immediately dumber, just add DJ in front of their name. And all of the Emperor's Children are DJs, and you know it. You know it. Even DJ Lucian. Forever229 says, hi, Smiley, Jamie, Smiley, and Smiley, other Smiley, people, Smiley, reporting Smiley, to Smiley, her, Smiley, Smiley, Smiley. Y says, Vegeta broke his scouter because at the time, Goku was the only other Saiyan besides him to gain a power level over 9,000. Vegeta's was 18,000 at the time. Also, the farmer had a power level of 5 and was scanned by Raditz, Goku's brother. You're right. Thank you for correcting me. Holy Broly Moly says, let us praise Papa Beard and Sunbeard, who impart their sage wisdom upon us lesser mortals. Let them rain fire upon our enemies and pursue true justice. Alejandro Pineda says, Papa Beard is gone. Proceeds to remove shirt and put on lampshade. Now we party. Casey says, whenever Sean Schemmel screams as Goku, my cat hisses at the screen. Even he can sense the beta. That's a good cat right there. Infragano says, Nick's rant is making me so hard right now. Kenpachi Dar says, will Drexel be there for the 40K live stream? Drexel is not a 40K nerd. He would have nothing to contribute. So no, he will not. Although I will have Drexel back on stream as soon as it is logistically feasible. Dubler says, Ty said nothing has been filed. Is this looking like they're gonna settle? No comment from me or Ty on that one. Adam Wofford says, winter is coming for you SJWs. Karauskar says, what are the chances the trials could be live streamed or anything like that? Low. Courts don't like cameras in their courtroom, but they could be live. They could be blogged. They could be captured by people taking notes. We'll see what happens. Could we see the deposition part recorded at least? I can't make any promises on that. We'll see how that goes. The Big Red Bear. The Big Red Bear says, just donated to Vic for the GoFundMe. I'm virtue signaling by telling you this. It's pretty fantastic. Not going to lie. I stand with Vic. Thank you very much. Trivia Aficionado says, agree so hard with everything. We'll definitely rewatch. Thank you. Deadly Raver says, tell them to get Robert Mueller to find the proof for them. After all, he did such a good job proving collusion between Trump and Russia. Bad Player says, $2 says one of these morons will commit perjury. Oh, I think more than one's going to commit perjury. They're either going to commit perjury or their narrative's going to fall apart really quick. Tharnot Gaming says, lol, tell them how it is. I am loving this. Comrail says, drop that dang mic, Nick, and take a bow. I can't drop it. It's on a mount, but there you go. SJ Jar Jar Bing says, is there a chance that even if Vic wins, the SJWs will double down? Yes. Even if they lose money or face and try to influence those in power never to hire him again? Yes. It's a real possibility. Here's a thing that I'm going to be talking about in the coming weeks, guys, as this drags on, because this The court and legal process is long and horrifying. Let's just be clear on that. As this drags on, Vic's career will need to be rebuilt long before we have full resolution on all of these things. That will rely on you guys helping Vic get back to work. I personally will be talking to Vic about different ideas about this. I'm not the expert or anything like that, but I will be helping to help Vic get back on his feet and to figure out what his next moves are, because even if Funimation and Rooster Teeth do decide to rehire him, it's a ways off. It really is. And he's going to have that reality. We're all going to have that reality. So the thing will be helping Vic. If you guys have supported him in his lawsuit, I'm sure you'll be willing to support him in whatever endeavor he takes. And if I can be of any help to him in finding out what that endeavor is, I will do so in a heartbeat. Okay. Jennifer, hashtag B Ron Toye, B word Ron Toye, Fear the Beard, BA Nick, and BA Ty. Thank you so much. Crimson Glory 287 says, is this a promo for a court case or a boxing match? Because good God, both. Punished Creeps Work says, when Vic wins, this will be a legendary rant. Thank you so much. Infragano says, I want Nick to be the mother of my children. Not going to happen. Sorry. Earju says, new music genre Gunt Wave is great. See Boogie 1488. Critical 233. Jamie Marchi is running her mouth as we speak. Well, more power to her. Keep talking, Jamie. I guess I've told you to shut up and lawyer up. If you want to keep talking, that's up to you. Darkling Cheetah says, oh Lord, what did I miss? You missed everything, my friend. Brandon Ellis says, does Nick seem a little salty to anyone else? I haven't even scraped the surface of the salt. I like the Spike Man says, best rant ever. Clip this, please. Choribo Moldo says, is the death sentence off the table? Yes, we need to send a message. It is what Vic would have wanted. God bless his soul. We do have a civilized process to avoid the death sentence. Trivia Aficionado says, amazing to hear some conservative views for once. Blaine 20 says, shots fired, man down, medic brings soy packets. Get the Kickoman. Get the Kickoman. Rub it in the wounds. Moon Bisco says, eat it. Open relationship realtor. Oh no. The Anime Music Zone says, Nick confirmed for Smash. Invader Tax says, all right, that glorious rant alone was worth $5. Holy crap, you were spitting fire. Thank you. Richard Fitzwell says, Warpath rackets. And guys, I have 3 days of Warpath built up in me, and I'm going to stretch it out all week. We've got hot drops all week. Darkling Cheetah says, what a thing to wake up to, lol. Keck7 Go says, holy poop, Nick. There's all this pent-up passion and rage because you needed to behave in front of Daddy Beard. It's because I've been on a trip. I've been on a trip and unable to vent. Plasma Owl says, written at Nick's rant. Never witnessed anything this epic since the Boondock Saints courtroom speech prayer. Thank you so much. Lone Goddess says, you should never try to ruin a good man's career. That is true. Mega Vigoroth says, supervillain Nick is back. Happy to be here. Terrible Magician Pony. Holy freaking cow. That was literally fire. Holy Broly Moly says, holy poop, Nick popping off. Bye-bye, Ron Soye. Zypher Warrior says, what about those served outside of Texas and ignore it? I would not recommend being served outside of Texas and ignoring it. They can still come after you. Still can get those liens. Those judgment liens will ruin your credit faster than not paying your Amex. JD1989 says, you just dropped the law bombs on these fools. Rolano1 says, would a court be able to compel them to delete their Twitter accounts as a term of judgment and remove all the posts implicating Vic? First part, no. Second part, yes. Skyheim says, doesn't everyone know delete doesn't mean delete? I don't think they do. MC Whammer says, can you fill me in on Stream Me shutting down? I missed a kill stream. Apparently, Stream Me ownership was doxxed. Their children were doxxed. Their wives were doxxed with all sorts of male juices on pictures of them. Very, very awful stuff. And they decided to shut it down. They capitulated to the people sending them threats, and that is where it is. So Stream Me is no more for now. An official announcement is coming on Wednesday. We will see what happens. That's according to Ralph. I don't actually know the story. That's what Ralph said on the kill stream. S Cyber Taz says, Nick, stop. Ron's already dead and he doesn't know it. Daddy, no. Signal RF says, time to pay the piper. Rendex says, hey, Nick, Jamie Marchi said she donated to her own SCESA GoFundMe campaign. Is that legal? It's legal. It may or may not be against GoFundMe's terms of service. I take the most conservative position possible on GoFundMe's terms of service and say I will not donate to my own campaigns. And I don't suggest other people do because it can be seen as seeding and misleading, which means it can be shut down by GoFundMe's terms. I don't recommend it. I'm not going to suggest that she did anything wrong or not. That's not up to me. That would be up to GoFundMe. I don't want to be involved at all in Jamie Markey's GoFundMe. I don't have any comment on it. I would never. Everyone who's asked me about it, I've said I'm not saying anything in regards to reporting them. That is not on me. So to be very clear, I have not advised, nor would I advise anyone to report it. So please don't ask me about it. That's not my business and I don't care. Tabby296 says, dude, let me buy you another whiskey after that rant. Made me cry of joy. Thank you very much. Zion Sephora says, Texas Rangers coming now for E-Thoughts. I stand with Vic. Supersonic 3783. Mr. Rekieta, you are awesome. Keep up the good work. And I really hope Vic gets the justice he deserves. Me too. Hashtag me too. Matt R says, can someone please edit that epic speech with a power level? Well done, Nick. Hats off to you. Thank you. O'Conic says, ask Mr. Beard if Yamato is his Cancol waifu. I'll have to ask him. J. Johan Jameson says, your rant on Ron Soye was legendary. Take my super chat, Cherry, you beast. Thank you so much. Lloyd Aloha says, you stole fizzy lifting drinks. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. Good day, sir. Steel J Screwjob says, lol, Jamie right now. It's not defamation if it's true. You have to prove it, you idiot. Yeah, you do. You better prove it. Renegade Shuriken says, Markey is in denial on Twitter. Claims harassment. Good job. Markey, you weren't invited to this stream. I don't care what you do. Can't call this harassment because I wouldn't even send it to you. To quote Sargon, I wouldn't even email you, Miss Markey. Let's see. Amaro Lopez says, I hope I never see an attorney this excited mentioning anything that involves my name. Cheers from Brazil. Thank you so much. The Anime Collector, hey buddy, says, too bad Funimation licensed and dubbed the new space battleship Yamato. That's a shame. Watch the subs, y'all. GRP Poll says, I missed the beard while I drank from a flaming skull. Elder Mikey 0507, thank you for all you're doing, Nick. My pleasure. By the way, is affluenza a possible viable defense for the opposition? Just curious. Not in Texas. No. No one important says miss the stream, but here is to the two most awesome lawyers I know. Sorry, Phoenix and Edgeworth. Thank you very much. Karoku says, sorry, I don't know where to send this, but if Vic decides to sue Mars Girl, here's stuff you could use. Karoku, send it to rekietalaw@gmail.com. Great stream. Good night. Thank you so much. I don't know if I'll be able to open that, but if someone wants to grab what he sent and send it to me at rekietalaw@gmail.com, that's where I'm collating all that stuff. That guy says, greetings from Germany, Nick. Get those soy milk drinking betas out of here. Thank you so much, that guy. Seamus Malane says, Guinness is not hoppy. Hops is how microbreweries hide garbage beer. There you go. All Out Bubblegum says, I'm thinking of getting into Warhammer 40k, starting with the rules book first. What was the first two books you mentioned earlier? I mentioned Xenos, which is I have up there, and I mentioned it's I Am Slaughter. I have the ebook version of I Am Slaughter. It's the first part of the Beast series. I believe Games Workshop or Black Library has just released the Beast Omnibus in 2 or 3 parts, so you can check them out there. The Beast series is fantastic. Lou V says Jesse Ridemore got back on Twitter to get BTFO. That's unfortunate. Lysander Linsworth says, Funimation refunded me $60 after I sent a long complaint involving Vic and the VAs talking trash on Twitter. Let them forever be in touch. The Sock Monster says, Rooster Teeth might have to eat crow. KMC Skunknet, did you get my Skype message regarding AM 2019? Yes, I did, and I will email them. I've just been traveling a lot, so I haven't had a chance to yet, but I will email them. Blue Samurai Zero says, way behind in the stream, Mr. Beard mentioned that we should all listen to your interview with Drexel. Which show was that? I can't find it. It is the 20,000 subscriber spectacular that I had not just last week. No, wait, the week before last. It was like Saturday. Be careful reviewing anime TV lawyers. That's illegal Eagles territory, Eaglets area. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it is the 20,000 subscriber special. It was Saturday, not this past Saturday, but the previous Saturday, I think. Forever229 says, Jamie still believes we will be in touch as harassment somehow. Smack my head. Yeah, well, good job for her. Talbot Link says, Dias is a base in Texas, has B-1 bombers that buzz the county. Oh, there you go. Thank you for clarifying that. Dreaming Samurai 24 says, Sean Schemmel is from my hometown. We had the first con in the area a few years ago and he was late. I guess he's a terrible person as well. Well, maybe. Killing Mac 07, would you ever do 007? Would you ever do a stream about the differences between US freedom of speech laws versus Canadian laws restricting speech? Would be very curious. I'd have to get a Canadian lawyer on for that. Mike Walter says, Vic did have a couple of directing positions. He directed a couple of episodes of Claymore and also ADR directed Juni Taizen Zodiac War. Thank you for that. Sordid Sentinel says, you're doing an Ace Attorney stream at some point. I actually wound up learning a lot about the Japanese legal system from it and would love to see your reactions. Stand with Vic says, Jamie says this stream is encouraging harassment. No! Why would we encourage harassment? That's nonsense. Jamie, no. No one here is encouraged to harass you in any way. You are absolutely wrong about that. I would not ever suggest that anyone talk to you at all, much less harass you. And if you notice, I have not sent you any messages. So I'm not harassing you either. But thank you for lying about that. Blue Samurai Zero says, thank you for having Taekwon Beard on the stream. He was a great guest. I agree. Keck7 Go. Jamie Markey tweeting about the stream. I didn't watch, but from what I heard, it's more threats and encouraging harassment. Well, she heard probably from Sean, who doesn't, or Shane, who doesn't know anything about anything. Sakaki Onsai says, I have to hit the sack. I have car shopping to do. Have some shekels from my pain and suffering settlement. Thank you so much. And may Shane end up under subpoena, free his chair, round beard beat by tie beard. There you go. Taco Jones says, do these super chats count as a retainer? No. Good show. Thank you so much. Sash J says, will only the VAs be getting sued, or will every person who made an accusation also be including those random people who decided to just jump in to further the Kick-Vic agenda? I have no idea who all is on the list. I know who I would put on the list. But I can't tell you. We'll have to just wait and see. Talenseer says, Ron hasn't mentioned anything, Vic, in the last 20 hours. Maybe he finally shut up. Erica says, Jamie Markey is talking about you and Ty on Twitter. Good job for Jamie. Marcus Jose says, have you heard of Doomcock? Yes, I have heard of Doomcock. He's a YouTuber, supporter, and a huge fan, and would love to get in touch with him. I can try to get him to contact you. Doomcock, send me a DM, buddy. I'd love to talk to you. Absolutely. Send me a DM on Twitter. I think I'm in a chat group with you there, but send me a direct one. I'd love to talk. Amaro Lopez says, if it's 4:36 a.m., thank you for being awesome and popping my super chat cherry. It's my pleasure. I'd send dollars, but my country's money isn't worth much. I hope you accept it. Of course I will accept it. Thank you so much. The Anime Collector says, Vic describes himself as not non-denominational. There you go. Keck7 Go says, queer is a catch-all term for all non-binary gender identities like intersex, genderqueer, third gender, etc. Also, I do not live in a binary world. Nick supports queer people confirmed. Take that, who call him homophobic. I support everybody in their personal decisions. I really don't care what people do. As long as they don't interfere with other people's personal decisions. John Albert says, what's your opinion about what happened to Tobiscus? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Sorry. DLC Forces, can someone DM me on Twitter the meanest tweets they made so I can make a meme to rule them all? DLC Forces, there you go. At DLC Forces. Ghost of Nick's beard. Why did you discard me? I kept you warm during the winter. Then you just cut me off and throw me away. Real talk, are you going to record and upload your panel appearance or will the con? I will see what to do. The con said I can live stream my panel appearance. And I may do 2 or 3 panels. I've got to pick them. That's my task for tomorrow, is to get the panel times. Something like that, hopefully. Super Alfredo 64 says, hey Nick, thank you for standing up for Vic and as well as the other YouTubers. Keep up the good fight and keeping us informed about the truth. I will do so. SM Skorks 89, can you invite Micah Curtis on the stream sometime? He can share stories about Channel Awesome as a first-hand source. I can. I don't know how to contact him. Marty Lund says, this would be civil, right? Public defender, no. Yes, civil, no public defender. You have no right to an attorney in civil matters. I mean, no one can interfere with you getting an attorney, but you will not be provided an attorney in civil matters. TLJ Screwjob says, perjury is just lying under oath, right? Yes. TLJ Screwjob, what's the penalty for perjury? Jail time, fines? Yes, both are on the table. Russell K says, dropping $5 for the entertaining stream. I can't wait for all the SJW media outlets to media blitz out the more they keep this up. Yeah, no kidding. Derek Alexander says, what are the odds we can get Vic to do a Bible Black Dubs if Funimation doesn't rehire him? I think those are long odds. Long odds, if you know what I'm saying. I'll talk to him about it. Cringe Lord says, need advice, someone doxing / gay ops against a friend. Well, if you need that, buddy, DM me. I don't know if I can help you, but I can try. Silent Asher, thanks for the donation. TLJ Screwjob says, so if Vic's guilty, the anime industry knew for years and did nothing. If he's innocent, then the anime industry ruined his life for some reason. Yeah, kind of looks that way. Twitch Y Johnson says, thank you for the stream. At a fine night, even if my insomnia is hell, I liked Sir Beards a lot. He's a cool dude. Texas represent. He is a very, very cool dude. Starscream 1540 says, do you agree with SCOTUS ruling in Yovinzo versus Rizzo? The Ninth Circuit judge ruled in a case and wrote the opinion, but died before it was released. Did SCOTUS say that the ruling was that he can't issue an actual, like his opinion doesn't count? I would think his opinion should not count if he dies before the opinion is I gotta say it's before it's released. And here's the reason, because judges on circuit cases and on Supreme Court cases, they write their opinions and then they send them to the other justices for critique, criticism, review, edits, stuff like that. They actually circulate their opinions back and forth, and you'll see this because they'll reference the opinions of other justices that are coming out contemporaneously. I have to say that they should not accept the opinion of someone who dies before the opinion is published by the Register, and it's published at the time that the ruling is made, not at the time the opinion is written. Not at the time the opinion is written, because they may have to edit it. So I gotta say, if the Supreme Court ruled that the circuit judge cannot issue a posthumous ruling, I agree with that. I don't know what the Supreme Court ruled on that. Okay. Let's see. Fergano says, how many of Super Chats till you have my kids? I've got my own kids to worry about, buddy. Eyes of the Wolf 101 says, any ideas on how to preserve Warhammer 40k from the SJWs? Money. Money. Speak with your wallets. Speak with your mouths. Let Games Workshop know not to change the lore for the purposes of social justice, and pray really hard that they don't. Mr. DJ Fly High says, check out Shannon McCormick's retweet yesterday. I'll have to do that. Russell YTube says, hey Nick, not sure if you got my YouTube $5, but I cannot wait for the predictable colluding media blitz. This is Gamergate 3. I fully expect the colluding left-leaning anime industry to go into full panic mode like the idiots they are. I wish Vic the best. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, Mega Monster says, SCOTUS did rule the way Rekieta Law wanted to. Good. Good SCOTUS. Good SCOTUS. I'll have to read that opinion. I have not had time. Marcus Jose says, I will likely have to pay for my brother's divorce lawyer soon, but before that happens, I will give this lawyer money with much more enthusiasm. Thank you so much, and best of luck to your brother. It's a nasty situation. And I mean best of luck in the mental health area, because it's just ugly. Blood Moon Splicer says, was the Kick Vic movement a premeditated hit? Sure looks like it. And Adam Wofford says, hey Nick, check Extra Mana Mars Girl. There you go. All right, guys, that is it. We're past 2 a.m. Infragano says, I love you, Nick. I love you back, buddy. My hair is getting progressively worse as the stream goes on. We don't even know what's going on now. Thank you so much. I will be announcing the Mumkey Jones stream as soon as possible. I will announce a 40K stream. I will hopefully have some good guests who are much more knowledgeable on 40K than I am. I will be Thursday. I am flying down to Texas. I will do my best to live stream Thursday and Friday night. I make no promises because it is up to the internet of the hotel where I am staying. That is for Community in Amarillo, Texas. If you're in Amarillo, if you're near Amarillo, if you are at all inclined to go to Amarillo, come say hi. I would love to shake your hand, give you a hug, and an unwarranted, unrequested kiss on the cheek and make you feel very, very uncomfortable and assaulted. Please, please come support the conventions. I'm going to talk with Vic before I get to Amarillo. I'm hoping to prepare a nice treat for people who will be there to watch my panels. And we will see. Vic, unfortunately, from what I understand, cannot make that convention. However, I will happily be there with Lady Rackets. And I would love to see anybody who comes support the cons that support Vic. I can't stress it enough. It is, look, the indications right now are that Funimation and Rooster Teeth are not going to hire Vic back, which means it's up to you to help Vic have a career after this. It's up to you, Vic's other fans, your friends. We've got to support people when they get thrown off of the earth. Right now, that's our defense. He's got the legal defense, and I have full faith in Ty to do the absolute best job that is possible to do. They're doing it, from what I understand, in a very different way than what is normally done. We'll see, of course, how that works out. But it is up to you and me and everybody else to build the career up at the end. It is our job to do that. We are the fans, and we can break the gatekeeping media by supporting people individually. You guys have supported me so much. Thank you for the huge show tonight. And there is one final chat, two final chats. AFG Anon says, regarding leaving Neverland, you should get in touch with Razorfist. Yeah, I'm very familiar with his videos on it. I love them. I do want to talk to Razor. I think he'd be a great guest, and I think we'd have a good conversation. I think his input and commentary and knowledge would be great for the stream. I would love to talk to Razorfist about these types of situations. I also know he's kind of an anime guy. I'd love to get his opinion on Vic. I will be reaching out to Razor as soon as possible. Thank you so much. And finally, Kiara Hardy says, Jamie is either in denial or she has finally lost. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But thank you so much for supporting me. Thanks for making this by far the biggest show I've ever done. And please, if you have not subscribed, please do so. So much more Vic is coming. So much more of everything is coming. I will talk to you tomorrow night, same time, 11 p.m. Central. And I will announce on Twitter what the subject will be. Y'all have a good night. Peace. Peace.